Welcome back to Northern Perspective, everybody. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Tanya.
The camera looks a little interesting, so I'm going to fix
Interesting
that right
how?
now.
The color?
No.
There you go.
See? I'm good. I can fix it. All right, folks.
We have the technology.
Or at least we have the illusion of technology. Anyway, folks, here we are, and it is Sunday, August 23rd. It feels like a lot has actually gone by.
It feels like longer than a week.
Yeah, there's so much that has happened. It feels like it is, well, a month. Feels like a month has gone by. Anyway.
And the days are getting darker sooner. I hate winter. Not looking forward to it.
Well, we have a long time to go until...
I know, but already the days are getting shorter and I'm just like, it's getting dark at like 8 o'clock now instead of, 9.
Anyway, folks, we have a packed bit of content for you. Hopefully it's going to be some things that are new. I think there's one thing that's going to be new because I don't know of anybody who's talking about this. But I think, well, most people will have an idea. Anyway, we'll get to it. I'm not going to be hyping this up because people will be like, yeah, duh, of course. Maybe it was just me that was surprised, but we'll see. Anyway, folks, let's get to house rules.
House rules are the same as always. Number one, please respect each other in the show. That means everybody who is on screen and everybody in the chat also are moderators. Moderators for this evening are Jack from NP, and Barnaby will be joining us in a little while. When you see Barnaby in the chat, you can start asking him your questions by tagging @Barnaby from Northern Perspective, and he will copy and paste the questions up to us.
Perfect. So
no, that was just the first one. Sorry. Next one is no selling, soliciting, or spamming in the chat. And number 3 is please do not use profanity.
Can I talk now?
No.
Perfect.
Never.
All right.
Okay, folks. Please, on your way in, hit that like button. It will help us get a higher rating than CTV. If they're
Don't we have that already?
If they're doing a live right now, so yeah, I know it's not difficult, but. Anyway, folks, we are 1,100 likes behind already. Let's not start behind the 8 ball. Let's get ahead of the 8 ball. It helps rank the stream high on YouTube, and it pushes it up so people will actually be shown it. So if they don't have the notifications on, shame on you. Where's Greta?
How dare you?
Speaking of notifications, and this is important relating to the copyright issue that we're experiencing right now with CTV. If they copyright strike us, there is a possibility that we'll sit on our channel for a maximum of 2 weeks. We're hoping a maximum of 2 weeks. And just double check that you have all of your notifications on for Northern Perspective, because if we do get a copyright strike, it's going to impair our ability for our videos to get out there and reach people. So
yeah, it's actually a good point. We were talking to Wyatt Claypool earlier about this. And what ends up so this is the process that's going to end up happening.
So we're not being sued yet. That's the key word, is yet. We hope we don't get sued at all, but yeah, you can go through the process.
Thank you. So what is going to happen? This is what we know is going to happen. Is in 5 days, we are going to have the video in question. And it's the video that was posted actually almost a month ago.
Yeah, it was on the 25th.
And the thumbnail is checkmate. So that video will be taken down forcibly by YouTube. And any of the revenue associated with that will be gone. And we will have what is called a copyright strike on the channel. If you get 3 copyright strikes within 90 days, YouTube will terminate your channel and all of the history with it. So all your videos, all your subscribers, all your memberships, everything you've built is gone. So they will be putting a single copyright strike on us. Now, as Tanya says, when you have a copyright strike on your channel, that signals to YouTube that something bad has happened and they will not distribute your videos as broadly as they normally would have. So
that means we're going to take a revenue hit for those maximum 2 weeks.
right.
Yeah, unfortunately. Which, I mean, if it gets to court, which I'm really hoping it won't, that's something we can bring up.
Yeah, and we will go after them for
Yeah.
damages.
We do have a copyright lawyer, by the way, in case anybody is concerned. We do have one.
And so it's really, really, really important that you double check that A, you're subscribed, and B, that you have notifications turned on, so that when we do drop something, you will get a notification that it's on. It really helps us. Otherwise, you may not see it. And that's because of what CTV is doing. This is the impact of them doing this.
Yep. And as far as we know, again, what we've done is perfectly legal. What we've done by taking their clip and saying, this is what Vashi Capellas at CTV News said, and showing the clip instead of just reading it, is the exact same thing they did with our clip of Pierre Polyev, where they took it and were like, look at what he said. Same thing.
Right. So then what happens is, as soon as that process ends up happening and we get the copyright strike, I issue what is called a counter notification back to YouTube and CTV saying, we are not accepting this. And what then happens is CTV has, I believe it's up to 14 days to produce proof to YouTube that they are going to file a suit in court. And if they do not, and if they back down, at the end of that 14 days, the copyright strike is removed from the channel and the video is put back up and everything goes back to normal. Now, I have a feeling that CTV is just going to wait the entire 14 days.
Yep. Just so that, you know, it impacts our business and we lose revenue. You know, it's not like we have an employee to pay or a child to care for, but thanks, CTV.
Right. So that's what we're doing. Now, we don't, we're not asking for donations or anything like that. We appreciate the people that have sent in what they have. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is just to keep everybody apprised of what's going on and what happens. If we get to the point where this actually does go to court, we've already been speaking with some folks in the creator space that will be joining us in that suit. So, and if we need additional help, we will definitely let you know. So, but this is the problem, right? Somebody has to stand up and say, no, this is not happening. So there it is. That's the update on CTV. I'm going to be giving daily posts on Facebook and X showing the countdown on our channel. And in the meantime, it would be an amazing thing if people can throw a comment on it, share it, and if you feel so inclined, many people have been already, email CTV and give them your feedback on their service.
And again, just like with the MPs, please no cursing, no name calling, and no threatening. But you can let them know, like, hey, we have the Canada Copyright Act for a reason. And yes, I'm going to run and check Vincent.
And Vincent is, we can hear him running around upstairs. At least we're not hearing a loud thud. So Tony's just going to make sure that maybe he's trying to get a drink of water or something like that. So that's that would be great. The amazing thing, and I want to put a huge thank you and shout out to NP Nation out there. We've actually been trending on X the last 2 days for this particular topic because so many people are talking about it, sharing it, and making sure that it gets pushed around the internet. That's a good thing. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We were able to get enough public pressure on CBC so that they backed down on the copyright claim that they put out for Parleview, if you remember that one. That was about 18 months ago. So hopefully we can do the same with CTV. And I'm hoping this is just an uninformed intern or an uninformed person that they have managing their YouTube channel. But it's just weird that all of a sudden all of this starts happening right now.
Well, and if you recall, the same thing happened all at once. I think it was the exact same day with the exact same clip with CBC back in 2024, except that they were claiming copyright on a clip that wasn't even theirs. It came from Parleview. We get this happen sometimes because there's an automated copyright tool in YouTube and it will show you all the videos that have used your work. But because we use a lot of Parleview clips, sometimes it will think that something that we've put, on our video from Parleview and then somebody else uses it from Parleview, that they're taking our footage, but they're not. So those are just false positives. You just have to delete them. In the CBC case back in 2024, we are pretty sure somebody just didn't know what they were doing and did the content claim. I'm hoping that's the case here with CTV because, again, we do have laws in place to cover this sort of thing. Otherwise, you would never be able to cite any works. Like if you're a student, you're preparing a paper, you would never be able to criticize any works. I think this is an important law for our democracy.
Yep. So it's going to be an interesting week, folks. And the next 2 weeks after that, it's going to hurt. But anything difficult or anything worth doing is usually difficult.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time I've stood up to an institution. Probably won't be the last. But I'm just fine with that because I don't judge my opinion or decisions based on the financial outcome.
And I'm not sure if Ryan said this while I was out of the room, but if you would like to help, please just share our video that we did on the subject. Let everybody know that, hey, we do have a law that, deals with this sort of thing, and CTV is just not listening to it.
I saw a couple of questions on this, so I'll give an update on Vincent since people are asking. He's doing well. His face is almost fully healed. He does have a pink line down here that is...
It's like fresh tissue, yeah.
So we're putting the appropriate stuff on that to help that heal and to hopefully make sure it doesn't scar. Considering he loves picking the scabs like most kids do, probably more than most kids do, on his knees and stuff like that. He actually did really well with his face because we were able to keep it nice and moist and lubricated so it didn't get itchy. So. Well,
and you know what I did? Maybe this is like, I don't know, innovative parenting or maybe bad parenting. I don't know. But I had ChatGPT take, we had a photo of Vincent where the wound went all the way from about up here and then down his jaw. And so I fed that into ChatGPT and I said, like, age progress this and show him what it'll be like if there's a scar, because I wanted him to understand if you pick it, you're going to get a scar that looks like this. And he seemed to understand. So
maybe we'll see.
I mean, a lot of autistic children need like a visual cue to understand. The school will do like social stories and things like this where they show him a picture of the bus and they'll show him a seatbelt, like you have to use your seatbelt on the bus and whatever. So I'm hoping that worked, but he didn't pick it and it's almost healed. Like it's just that fresh tissue that you kind of see right here. So we were like so grateful, and thank you to everybody who saw him yesterday and was asking about him, and everybody just who's been emailing us and commenting and everything. We really appreciate all your thoughts and your prayers and your kindness. He is so lucky. Like he didn't break any bones, didn't have any internal damage. It was just the concussion and the scabs. So
the only damage we had was this.
Yeah.
Emotional damage.
That's the only damage we had. Anyway, okay, HD Day for $2 will be close to a depression by Christmas, and some people would argue we're already in one. Jessica Van Loop for $7. White said today in his video that if CTV comes after him again, that he and you both will sue him.
Yeah, class action. Class action style.
Well, and it's funny because we actually I actually chatted with White today, probably 45 minutes, close to an hour, and was talking with Mario as well on some of this stuff. So, for those that are asking, do you guys ever talk to other creators?
When stuff like this happens, for sure.
We do. And shout out to Mark Nixon as well. He was helping to share the the video and get that around. So thank you, Mark. Really appreciate that. And also, I think Derek from Unacceptable Fringe, I think he was sharing that as well. So
Yes, I believe you're right.
everybody who was sharing this and putting it out, thank you, thank you, thank you, because it's not just Canadian political YouTube channels that I'm thinking of here. It's everything, because if these news organizations are allowed to take clips from everybody else, but they don't let anybody use their clips, that's not literally fair dealing.
Right.
It's not fair at all.
Right.
And just because you have a $1 billion budget
doesn't mean you can bully the little guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think that us using, what was it, like 72 seconds of their footage, and then you talking about your theory mixed in there, I don't think that replaces their entire 23-minute broadcast. You can't make that argument.
No. Especially when they have one of their videos, 75% of their video was our clip. So, anyway, Van Shake Guitars, member for 20 months. Now I want my own cowboy hat. Well, they're around.
Go get one. It was just Boots in the Creek this weekend, so they had a bunch. We didn't actually go this year, but last year they had a whole bunch, and they were really awesome.
There seems to be a misconception that people in Ontario don't wear cowboy hats, and there's a lot of people in Ontario that wear cowboy hats. Miriam Rachel for $7. Great to see you. It was great seeing you yesterday, and glad my daughter met you. So are we. On another note, I'm scared Carney will be up in the polls again after this. Well, stay tuned to that, because I'll be talking about that later.
Think that's a plausible theory.
I'll be talking about that later. Damien McNeil for $5. Rap-a-tap-tap that like button on your way to MP Nation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Let us see if it pays off. And Anubis Hades, member for 14 months. Why are tariffs set for September 8th by
elections?
Oh, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah. That's another theory we're going to discuss.
I will answer that later. And Slim Chance for member for 22 months. The first casualty of war is the truth. Indeed.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
We have Frosty Gaming for $5. Go to Rumble, F YouTube.
Rumble has its own
problems.
Yeah, set of issues, I would say.
We've tried. We've tried Rumble, and I don't know if they've addressed it in the last 16 or 18 months, but the front end issue is not, the front end of Rumble is not the problem.
No, it's the creator end. Yeah.
And we have Artworks for $5. How do we know concessions weren't made behind closed doors, but in public we have no deal? I guess time will tell. I'm pretty sure there's too much money at stake. I'm pretty sure that that nothing was officially made behind the scenes. I can't say that for sure, but that's my thought. And Jack from NP for $2. Time to copyright strike CTV. Yeah, 17 times.
No, because unlike CTV, we know what the law is. So.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we would be in the wrong. So, right? Just me Nicole for $5. Can a private citizen ask a tip for the failed deal?
Yes, I believe so, but they can take a while to get back to you. So it might be made public by the time you actually get a response.
Unless it is declared cabinet confidence, and then you don't get it. Given Mark Carney's propensity for his opaque transparency, that's what I would expect, but who knows. Myron Ends for $20. That is BS. Keep fighting for the Canadian people and don't stop talking. Love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Stephen C., member for 30 months. Counter copyright strike CTV for using your clip. The Frosty 8 for $5. I think having a strong big brother to the south has given Canada an ego so large that they forgot what made them untouchable economically. And
that's an interesting theory. Yeah,
we've talked a little bit about that. CTV copyrights NP and Wyatt. NP and Wyatt goes after CTV. CTV apologizes by showing a NP fan wearing NP merch.
That was great.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, you can check out our Facebook and X. It's really funny.
And it was Bradley who was wearing it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you, Bradley, for repping MP Nation.
And it was
It was
great that we
awesome.
got to finally meet Bradley too. Thank you for your service. The Frosty Ape, welcome back to MP Supporter. Thank you. Scotty for $5. Greer, 7% on autos, 10% steel plus aluminum. You're trying to get it in that. I respect that. 0% chicken and farm, 0% softwood lumber. Best on the planet. Carney is a liar. We'll be talking about that too. Member for 20 months. CTV after you two sign.
Sign you're doing your job.
Sign you're doing your job. We hope so. We hope so.
And that we understand copyright law, at least to the extent that we need to.
We don't have a high profile paid legal team. So.
No, and like when we started YouTube, one of the things that we did do was find a copyright lawyer, because we're like, okay, this is probably something we're going to need. And she had given us a free consult at the time, kind of given us like an overview of like, okay, do this, don't do this, don't do that. And if there's any issues, we can call her. So
there you go.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Myron dropping 10 memberships. Thank you very, very much for that. And Schwangster for $7. Highly unlikely that Carney even knew what was in the deal. No deal is what he and his backers want.
I think you missed the one from EO Saken.
Oh, I did. EO Saken for $5. I'm 11 minutes late, but kicked butt. Apparently you were so late that I missed your chat. So, and Slim Chance for $10. Kudos to Mark Carney for setting up his forward trade operating base in Tuscany. Keith Wilson, August 2026. Miss Linda.
All right.
For $2. Nothing that is raised against you shall prosper. Thank you. And Barry Waller for $1.39. An angry face. Thank you very much. That was that was me before. Yeah. And I may do a little experiment this week, which is going to be funny. So the experiment may be, I may take that CTV video where it's 75% our clip and use it and criticize it and talk about it and see if they copyright strike that. Can you imagine? I can see it happening where CTV would copyright claim our footage from their channel. Should we see? You know what? Let's do a poll just for fun. I think I know what the poll's going to say, but let's throw out a poll just for fun.
Stand by.
It's rare. So basically, should we see if CTV will copyright claim our footage from their channel?
I'm just putting, should we copyright trap CTV?
There you go. Okay.
Using our own footage. I'll put that.
We'll see where all the CTV employees are that are watching this channel. And we have Empress Janice for $20. What about using Rumble? Also, Ryan and Tanya, your work with regards to the longest ballot and you in committee. CTV is jealous. LOL. It will all work out and CTV will look like the shysters they are.
Honestly, what it probably is either somebody new or maybe somebody who's very ideologically driven, working their YouTube channel and is like, oh, well, you know, they used your footage, copyright strike, and they don't understand what the laws are. It's, I suppose it's also possible to be AI at this point in the game, right?
That CTV's using AI?
Yeah, maybe. To like, because they probably get like a lot of copyright stuff.
Well, but the thing is the vast majority of it will be fair dealing. So,
well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if they have an AI that's just programmed to reject everything,
I don't know. That would be.
It's a theory. It's a theory. We have no proof, right? Barnaby is here in chat now. So if you would like to ask a question in question period, please tag at Barnaby from Northern Perspective with your question.
I guess my appearance at committee is not going very well today.
Hi, Barnaby. Legion 14 for $5. You guys are good, patient parents. Keep up the good job. We're not always patient, like all parents. Transcription member for 26 months. Wap Canoe smiles like a stressed, guilty dog. Okay.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting one. Myron ends for $20. That is so good to hear for Vincent. I hope all of you are doing well. Hard thing to deal with. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was the worst 24 hours ever. And, you know, I'm so grateful that I had my sister and her husband drive from Whitby to come to McMaster Hospital to make sure that we were okay and spend time with us. My parents drove up from Niagara to do the same thing. So he had, like, Vincent had his whole family there. My other sister unfortunately was working, but she's a nurse, so I was able to text her and ask her questions. And it was very stressful, but you know, our family was there to support us.
Speaking of creators, Portuguese Pie, good to see you in chat for $10. Hope you guys don't get the strike and CTV smartens up. I'm also dealing with CTV Bell. There you go. My dispute has been submitted and it has been radio silent since. They'll probably just wait the 30 days for me. So if you're dealing with the same thing that we are, do us a favor, take a screenshot of the current status, send it to us, and I'll include it in my update tomorrow to give both you some visibility, and I'll tag you, and then we can just keep showing that this is growing.
Yeah,
right?
it's not just
it's not just
one
us.
channel. It's CTV is, again, I think they're being abusive really with the copyright process, because these sorts of things are protected by law.
So yeah, send that to us if you can. Got your back. And Legion 14, also send us your phone number too, please. If you want to. Legion 14 for $5. Gold is shooting up again. That is a bad sign. Good for me because I invested in it. That shows we are headed for a serious depression.
Yay, fun.
Doo-doo for $10. Some good news. Good news is great. It's looking like the blue wave is taking over BC. A united Western Front is very plausible, and the second route to taking Canada back is opening and throwing a wrench in Carney's plans.
Good.
And then hopefully removes any excuses for a pipeline going through British Columbia. So, and we have, just says Allah for $20. It was such a pleasure to meet you in person yesterday, and especially to meet Vincent. You are such a lovely family. Thank you for the work you do and for keeping us informed and engaged. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. It was great to meet you too.
Awesome to meet everybody.
Yeah, it was fun. Vincent had so much fun. I brought his little bubble gun. It's like the best $5 I've ever spent. Got it at Walmart, and he just like presses the little trigger and bubbles come out everywhere. And he was just running around like a maniac while Pierre was giving his speech. We were outside. We weren't inside the pavilion.
Oh, so Peter, let me clarify, because he said I only say no to their poll because we would be stooping to their level. So what this is, it's an experiment. We're not sending a copyright claim to them. What we're doing is we would be playing the footage that they took from us, that they put on their channel. So we would be playing that on our channel to see if they copyright claimed our own footage from their channel. That's the experiment that I'm using here.
I don't want to risk it because I don't want 2 copyright strikes, but you know.
Yeah, but it'll just show. It'll be revealing. Anyway. Holy crap. So I'm gonna jump the queue. This is crazy. This is from VIP Pools and Spas with a $500 super
Oh my
chat.
goodness. Thank you so much.
It's not taxpayer money. It's the best I can do.
Oh, thank you.
Holy moly.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
I'm gonna like tear up, man. Like, thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
You say
Emotional damage.
play a clip so we don't see Ryan crying.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, I don't know how to segue off of that, folks, and get myself out of this. Thank you. Okay. Jessica Van Luke for $2.79. Willow had 6 beautiful kittens today. There you go.
Aww.
Are you trying to make me cry more? Like, what the hell? What the hell?
What the hell is going on?
I'm going to be using Brock however I can. That's great. That's awesome. Tell her to take a break. So, and Mazda Man for $2 is the threat real to become the 51st state? No. No. Can I say this?
I don't think so. If you're thinking of saying what I think you're saying.
Okay, so I can't say what I want to say because we have a rule, whatever we say
Off camera, stays off camera.
But what I can say is no.
No, it was trolling.
It was
as we predicted.
it was
like a backhanded
It was master
comment.
level troll.
Yeah. Like basically.
No, that's it. That's all we can say.
No, I was going to say what I had said before.
Okay.
Because basically it was like, okay, so Canada was relying on the United States Army, perhaps not entirely, but heavily. And, we get a lot of our trade, 75%, I think, goes to the United States. So the comment was made as like a snide remark, like, we support you guys so much that you may as well become the 51st state. Ha ha ha. You can't do it yourself. You know what I mean? You can't support yourselves. And the media just ran with it.
100%. 100%. So, but based on conversations that we've had, we can say, yes, it is 100% trolling. So, and that's all we'll say. Is this Richard Curry? Can't see. Richard Curry. Yes, it sure is for $28. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope the possibility of the strike gets resolved before you lose revenue. That's the
So
hope.
do we, but just again, double check that you are subscribed to all notifications for Northern Perspective, and that way you won't miss any videos.
And share the heck out of it. And let's see, we'll do a couple more. Napalm for $5. I think we are on the cusp of serious currency devaluation. Canada is now the most heavily shorted currency in the world. Hooray. Yep. I'm not sure if you're...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure if you heard it here first or somewhere else, but we definitely reported on that.
You missed the one above that. You clicked it, but you didn't read it.
Oh, Milo Nexus. I'm still messed up from VIP pools. Milo Nexus for $5. I've been hearing the U.S. had certain tariffs down to like 7%. If that's true, Carney royally messed up. Well,
yeah, I don't know if we'll know the full truth until like the public is made aware of what that deal was. But
I have a prediction, and
yeah,
we'll see
if
that happens.
It's bad.
And Denise for $10. How can you get through to the Trump haters, Carney lovers? I'm broken, especially when it's my friend. We were actually talking to Vesper about this, and we came to the conclusion that the issue is the people that are framing it. And how do you change that? Well, that's the new problem. And that's the CBCs, that's the CTVs, that's the Globals, that's the Globe and Mails, that's all of this stuff.
I think it is like news in general, and independent media on YouTube gets blamed for this a lot, but mainstream media does this too, where instead of telling you what somebody has done, they're trying to frame their character in a particular way. So, like, for example, Trump is evil because he's putting tariffs on Canada, or Mark Carney is a genius because of XYZ. Like, they're giving you this good versus evil narrative, and really they should just be telling you what they've done. Trump puts tariffs on Canada. Mark Carney does XYZ.
Trump walked back a deal with Japan, and Trump walked back. It did happen. So, report on what happened, and then let the viewers make their judgments based on that.
Yeah.
So the problem is opinion has now taken over news.
Yeah, and it's not just happening on YouTube, it's happening in mainstream media too.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. We used to have Lloyd Robertson come on. We used to have Peter Mansbridge come on, and they would say, this is what happened. Here are the facts. This is more what happened. Here are the facts. Next story. This is what happened. Here are the facts. That's why they were respected. But now it's Donald Trump intends to take on Canada, or Mark Carney has, planted a a flag on the sun for the first time. Mark Carney invented salt. Like it's
Mark Carney invented salt.
this is what you end up having.
Pardon me. I think this one got missed. It was a $20 super chat from Kate Pacey. Thank you very much. It says, wishing you all the best in your fight, and hopefully it gives you positive growth for Northern Perspective. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thanks. I wish we didn't have to fight at all, but here
Yeah,
it is.
well, and that's the thing. Like,
But in saying that, technically we're fighting every single day. So, all right, 2 more Van Shank guitars for $2. Do it, Glenn. Do it. Do it. And then my Ends for $2. Do it. So, all right. Okay, folks. And just so you know, I'm half expecting a phone call. I don't know if I'm going to be getting one. It's not going to be on the live stream, but I may have to step away for 10 minutes or so to have it. But it may not happen, so it just depends on availability.
I just hope. Okay, which button do I need to press to get back to the main screen?
Main.
Okay.
So if I'm gone or if I get up to leave, then that's why. And then Tanya will carry the show.
Or I'll try.
Yeah. Hopefully the cats are around. All right, folks. So as we all know, the deal is off between Canada and the United States. The deal that both sides were basically saying is a done deal. And it was rushing towards the finish line. And at the last second, everything blew apart. So what really happened? We don't know if we can tell you what really happened, but we can tell you some of what we found out. And then we'll tell you what we think happened in terms of why it happened. So let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a publication to the south. It's from the New York Times, folks. This is called Fair Dealing because we're actually attributing where we're getting this from. Trump's top trade representative details offer that Canada rejected. In an interview, Jameson Greer, President Trump's trade representative, laid out details of what the United States offered to Canada before talks crumbled.
Mr. Trump had abruptly threatened Canada with a 50% tariff on about $20 billion of its exports in July in an effort to push the country into making trade concessions and removing certain practices the United States had deemed unfair. Those tariffs were set to go into effect on the morning of August 19th, but on the night before, Mr. Trump delayed the tariffs until August 22nd, saying that the countries had a deal, quote, subject to the finalization of documents, end quote. But over the following days, and particularly late into the night, Friday, that consensus crumbled. It fell apart over a series of issues that, individually, may have seemed small, but collectively represented a big division over issues of importance to both sides. Mr. Greer, who is the ambassador of trade, I believe, Mr. Greer said that the Trump administration had pledged to eliminate the 10% tariff on softwood lumber that Mr. Trump imposed last year during a provision known as Section 232. The United States had also offered to reduce a 25% tariff on cars that Mr. Trump put in place last year. But because Canada qualifies for a further reduction when the cars contain any amount of U.S. content, the automotive tariffs could have gone as low as 7%, he said. The United States also offered to lower tariffs on metals, one of Canada's most important priorities. Quote, the United States was prepared to reduce this tariff on steel from 50% to 25% for the majority of steel Canada sent to the United States, end quote, Mr. Greer said. Steel would be subject to what is known as a tariff rate quota system, in which only a certain amount of steel imports would receive that lower tariff. On aluminum, the United States had offered to reduce its tariffs to 25% from 50% without such a quota limitation, Mr. Greer said. For products made with steel and aluminum, like golf clubs and beer cans, the United States offered to cut those tariffs by anywhere from 10 to 25 percentage points, with the lowest tariffs set at 15%.
Now here's the most interesting part of this entire article, folks.
The Canadian government did not immediately respond to a request to comment on Mr. Greer's description of what Canada had left on the table when it suspended talks Friday evening. Isn't that interesting?
So this is just what Greer's saying. And what the Conservatives are doing, I think, is the right thing. They are calling on Mr. Carney, and this was mentioned earlier, to show us the deal.
Right, because right now, all we have to go on are the Americans' statement, right? There's always two sides to every story, so let's hear what the Canadian delegation, i.e. Dominic LeBlanc and, Carney's people, what they have to say, what they said the deal was and why they left it on the table.
And I would argue that there's no breaching any sort of confidentiality, because Jameson Greer, he flat out told the New York Times what his interpretation of what was actually in that deal was. So let's hear what the deal was. Now, Mark Carney is trying to say, well, they were trying to dictate how we do trade and all this stuff. Whereas, you can talk about that because there's some stipulations inside of CUSMA that it does influence how you can do trade.
Yes, it does. And we reviewed that a little while ago, actually.
Right. And Mario, he actually put out a video earlier today talking about that. So, but this is why we need to see the language. This is why we need to see the deal itself. I will say I'm not going to trust Mr. Greer, and I'm not going to trust Mr. Carney, because this is now hearsay on both sides. Show us the deal. I can't call up the U.S. government and say, where's our deal? Because we're in Canada. So we have to call up Mr. Carney and say, show us the deal. And if we are now going into a situation where it's 50% tariffs on all of these products, over 20 billion, some say as high as $30 billion in goods, I would think that would classify a reason to go back to Parliament now.
Or to not leave the negotiating table in the first place. Like, you can say, okay, we're clearly not agreeing. Let's break for the night and come back in the morning.
Well, and if you're that close.
Right. That's my point. Like, you don't, like, to me, anyways, this is an opinion. This is my opinion. You don't leave until that deal gets done, because those 50% tariffs are going to be so significant.
And here's the thing. Let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say Mark Carney is completely telling the truth. Let's just go with that. I know. Let's just go with that, though. So at the negotiating table, which he wasn't at, by the way, it was Dominic LeBlanc. Let's say you're stuck on these things, and the Americans are saying, no, we need this. Well, no, we need this. Well, no, we need this. The best thing to do is say, guys, okay, listen, we're almost here. Can we all agree to take a break? We're all tired. We're almost there. Let's go back. Let's chat with our country leaders. Let's come back to this tomorrow. Can we get an extension by another day? Because we're almost there. Let's not throw away all the progress that we've been working towards.
Right. And that's the way I would do it. Now, again, I wasn't in the room. I don't know if that's possible. But to me, yes, you don't have to accept a bad deal, but you need to continue working together to get a deal that is at least acceptable to both sides.
That's what I would have done. Now, this is interesting because CBC actually had somebody on their show that was saying what Mark Carney was doing was insanity. Check this out.
Well, as Catherine said, and as we just showed you, joining us now is Barry Appleton. He is an international trade lawyer and policy strategist, and has been working on the NAFTA file for quite some time. Barry Appleton, you may not remember this, but we met a lifetime ago in Newfoundland and Labrador when you were warning about bulk water exports from Gisborne Lake, and I was a local reporter covering politics there. Wow. So it's good to see you a quarter of a century later. You, of course, were a former advisor to BC and Ontario on NAFTA. I just wonder, Barry Appleton, what do you make of this? 50% tariff, $27 billion worth of Canadian goods now in effect. There is an absolute trust fracture in this relationship. What are the sort of options available to Canada here? What's your initial assessment of the situation?
Okay, look, first of all Canadians feel today is like the day after Pearl Harbor. So none of us are happy. And this is a foundational shift. But we have to think about being smart not just dealing with our emotions. And so part of the problem we have is this: dollar for dollar retaliation is math. It's actually not strategy. The Bank of Canada did a major report, came out in June of this year, talking about the impact of the last time we did retaliation. What they found was that the impact of retaliation cost Canadians when that came in, and didn't have any impact on the Americans because we're too small. So while it feels good and sounds good, it causes a problem. But here's the other problem. Inside, and the devil here is in the details, inside Section 338, the proclamations that put this into account, there's a provision that says that the president has the authority to block American goods if there's retaliation. So there's already a clause, we call that a snapback. There's a clause in there with a punishment to warn anybody to not do this. So the Prime Minister's smart. He's put this out. He said, look, I'm going to give you a warning, which is not going to be effective until September the 8th. So he's telling everybody what the cost will be. But actually, the cost of retaliation could be a lot worse than we expect, because the president alone, not going to Congress, has special powers that we've never had exposed to us before. So that's the first really important point we need to understand. Even though it makes us feel good, and we can vote in lots of ways because we cannot buy American, we can use consumer power. But if you engage in this, the president has special powers, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't use them. Plus, he can also put in another 338 on us.
That was fascinating to hear. And the report is real, because we found it. But the big irony about this is that Mark Carney used to be the governor of the Bank of England. Mark
And
Carney
Canada, too.
used to be the governor of the Bank of Canada. So this report came out recently, and maybe at some point he will claim that he authored it. I don't know. But
He authored all reports ever in the history of man.
and all future ones.
Yes.
But here is the here's the report that they're actually talking about. So this is a report of the Bank of Canada, the price impact of Canadian retaliatory tariffs. Okay, fine. So this is the section. It's a long report, but this is the section that I want to show you. And I want to direct your attention here. It says, evidence from Canadian international merchandise trade data shows little systemic decline in the prices received by U.S. exporters of tariffed products, suggesting limited absorption by foreign exporters.
So what does that mean?
What does that mean? So what this means, folks, is that when there was dollar for dollar tariffs last year, there was for about 6 months before Mark Carney took them all off. What ended up happening is the American exporters shipped their products into Canada. Remember, they don't necessarily pay the tariff. By default, they don't. So it goes into Canada. What was happening is that the retailers and the companies in Canada, they were paying most of it. So there's 25% tariff on it, but the price is only, they didn't actually go up that much. Now, the thought is because the retailers thought that this was actually not going to last very long, so they didn't worry about it. But then it did. And they only went up by about 6% in price in Canada. What didn't happen is the longer it went on, the exporters did not absorb any of that tariff cost whatsoever. What does that mean? Look at what is happening in the mold tool and die industry in Canada. They need to keep their customers. They need to continue doing business. And their primary market is the United States. In order to keep their customers, they absorb the cost of the tariffs in order to do that. If they didn't, their business would be gone overnight. That's the problem. Because otherwise, it's a 15% total markup on every single product, because they're being tariffed the total value of the product that's going over the border. So what this report is saying is that the American companies weren't concerned whether or not their products sold in Canada, and as a result of these tariffs, which means that we account for such a small amount of their sales, it didn't matter. And because of that, he's saying that the only people paying are Canadians. because we're paying the extra tariff on all these products. You're making it more unaffordable for Canadians in Canada. And you may actually cause people not to buy any of the products in the first place, which means you're hurting the Canadian businesses that are trying to sell them in Canada. That's what this report is saying. And that's what Mr. Appleton is saying on CTV or CBC. So he's saying, yeah, this may feel good to do this, but it's not going to have the impact on American businesses that you think it's going to have.
Well, and tariffs in general, if you're going to put tariffs on another country, you need to be very strategic about which country, what items, because you need to have items that you produce them at home, but you produce them maybe for a little bit more money at home than you do coming from the United States, let's say. So if you're putting tariffs on things that the United States only makes, or that's where you get the bulk of that product. For example, let's just use one, like orange juice. We don't have orange trees in Canada. So if you're putting tariffs on something like orange juice, you're affecting the people in your country because anybody who wants orange juice is now paying more because it's not something you can make at home.
Yeah, you can't get another orange juice supplier in Canada.
Right.
Because we don't grow them here.
Right, exactly. So you have to apply tariffs strategically to make it so that the product coming into your country is a little bit more money now than the product that is made in your country, therefore incentivizing people to buy the product that is made domestically in your country.
Now, we go to Shub Majumdar now, who was on CBC, and he was being asked about this. And he had some interesting things to say.
You heard there, and you well know your party's position. Your party wants to see a deal with no tariffs at all. I'm sure everyone would like to see that too, but is that really realistic, seeing as President Trump has seen tariffs as a way for his government to raise money?
You know, it's interesting you asked that question. I would also point out former Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland's interview on Bloomberg today, where she described a structural weakness of tariffs that are one-sided. Unilateral, one-sided tariffs that are focused on deindustrializing our economy is an existential risk to the country. And the Prime Minister had promised a better deal, a deal that would be good for the Canadian all aluminum workers, lumber workers, steel workers, and other manufacturing, auto workers. The permanent disadvantage of permanent tariffs is an obvious concern that premiers would have, that the opposition has, and I'm sure Mr. Carney's own caucus has when it comes to the direction that he's taking these negotiations. Of course, we haven't seen the deal yet. I think it's probably important for us to take a measure of what is ultimately announced, if it is announced, and then have a chance to respond accordingly.
Since you brought up Chrystia Freeland, she also, though, said in that interview that while no one's happy to see some kind of permanent tariff there, she did say that will also be a bad deal for both countries.
Yep.
And she also said, though, that a deal at least would provide some certainty for businesses, even if it kind of sticks in our craw that we're having to accept tariffs. So is that not sort of a bigger picture of just saying this is not great to having tariffs? I mean, I think everyone agrees it's not great to have tariffs, but it's what we have to accept, it seems.
And that's exactly the fair point to make, because here we are a year and a half into the Prime Minister's tenure, where we've had plenty of opportunity to build up the Canadian strength on our industrial base, on AutoPac 2.0 proposals, on delivering a strategic minerals and energy reserve as a positive incentive in negotiations. We've had over a year to build up our strength to negotiate with Washington and with the world, and we've seen that squandered. And even in these negotiations that we're in right now, the unilateral and unjustified tariffs that President Trump has imposed on Canada is intolerable to all of us. We don't like Canada being used as a punching bag. But let's not forget that we are entering these negotiations on American terms, not terms defined by Canada. These are not the terms that we should be negotiating from a position of weakness. And it's a sad story for the sectors that are involved in the provinces and communities that are dealing with very anxious and existential questions.
Well, how?
I like the way he's framed this, because
It's true.
it's 100% true. Mark Carney, just in the fall, October 2025, and we've shown this, he said, I will get a better deal than the one we have now, which is Kuzma. The best deal in the world.
But we already had the best deal in the world, he was saying.
Right. But he was going to get an even better one. That's
Well,
he literally said that on the floor of Parliament.
I know he did.
And now Now we have CBC. Well, you know, is it realistic to expect anything other than, you know, some sort of tariff level? Well, wait a minute. Yeah, absolutely. I can expect that. We have the best negotiator on the planet, Mark Carney. That's what we were told. He's the banker. He's the businessman.
You know, I get the feeling he's not really a negotiator as much as he is the guy that barks orders at people.
No, I get
And
the feeling that he just signed on the dotted line and everybody else did the negotiating.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of my point. Like, as the governor of the Bank of Canada or the Bank of England or both, you would think that he'd be the guy giving the orders, but you can't do that in a negotiation. Negotiations are give and take.
No, and the bottom line is the Liberals put us in the situation for 11 years. We wouldn't have been in this weakened position if it weren't for the Liberal Party of Canada.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have been in this position if it weren't for Mark Carney not doing his job last year.
Well, and again, we had Ambassador Hoekstra tell us that they just walked away from the deal in October. The Canadians just walked away.
There was a deal on the table in the fall.
Yeah. Almost a
Everybody
year
seems
ago.
to agree with that. That's not contested. And you didn't get it done. You didn't get the deal done that you said it was going to be done by July.
Right.
So-
Why? You know a deal needs to be done.
And like, I'm not ticked off that if they turn down a bad deal. That's not what I'm ticked off about. I'm ticked off about the fact that Mark Carney set the precedent that he's been conceding all of this time. And now that all of this damage to the economy has been done, now you're going to stand up when you're in this position, when you're in a vice, and now Canadians are going to pay even more. Like, it's just, it blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Get it done. And if you're such a good negotiator, let's get to zero tariffs. Now, why is this being done? Why? Well, we have a theory. And the theory is this. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, these tariffs are going into effect on September 8th.
Well,
Wait a minute.
that's what, 2 or 3 weeks from now?
It's 2 or 3 weeks from now. Wait a minute. I was told, and everybody was told, no, it wasn't just me. Mark Carney didn't call me up and say, hey, Ryan, guess what? All of us were told by the mainstream media that Carney was ready. He was ready to go in any eventuality, in any situation. So, okay, you say, we're going to be issuing dollar for dollar tariffs later. Why? Oh, wait.
Right.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know why. Ladies and gentlemen, on August 31st, 2026, what happens? Well, that is when the by-elections of Beaches, East York, Chicoutimi, Lafjord, and North Vancouver, Capilano, that is when they actually come home to roost. That is voting day. That is results day, folks. So what's interesting is almost a week to the day after that is when he's going to put in these tariffs. I submit to you, Canada, this is my theory, that it'll never happen. I submit to you, this is my prediction, that after those by-elections finish, you're going to see, magically within that week, a deal struck. Mark Carney is going to say it's because of his threat of the retaliatory tariffs, but I think they're going to go back quietly to the table with the Americans, and we're going to get a deal. And then we're going to see all these capitulations that would cause all these elbows up people to be really ticked off with the Prime Minister, but it won't matter at that point because the by-elections are done.
But there are more coming.
There are more coming. But that's my thought here. Or he's going to call these other by-elections right away, all together in another chunk, wait until they're done, have a 2 or 3 weeks of pain for the Americans, and then we're going to see it. So he can say, elbows up, everybody. That is my prediction. So it's going to be, I think, one of those two scenarios. And I think this is all as a result of maintaining support so he can get through these by-elections. And so that he can try and point at Pierre Poilievre, well, not him, but get everybody else to, and say, oh, look, see the Liberal support? Obviously, the Conservative leader has lost control of his party, and we need, well, they need to get a new leader. That's what they're going to try and spin this as. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Be prepared.
You heard it here first. Maybe.
Maybe.
And if you didn't, then I agree with who else you heard this from. So I'm not Mark Carney. I won't take credit for everything. I didn't invent the laptop. So that's the theory, that's the thought, and that's the case for it. So, but we've been covering this, as you know, every step of the way, from the 232 tariffs, from the molt, tool, and die, to the trade discussions, up until we were one of the first to actually break the story that the deal was off when it happened. We'll continue breaking this as we come into play. But I can tell you, I've spoken to some people in the Senate, and they don't disagree. So I'm like, oh, so this is plausible. And they said, that's plausible. That's plausible. So
Plausible, but is it probable? That's the question.
Well, probability is only a matter of time. There you go.
Disclaimer, Ryan does not predict the future.
I am not a prophet, but I like making a profit once in a while. So, okay. So, yeah, YouTube is...
Okay, we can go off my list. Thank you to Craig on the Prairies for a member comment for 32 months. Went to Jamil Giovanni's Restore the North event here in Calgary today with MPs Tom Kmiec and David McKenzie. It was really nice to meet Jamil and David. I know Tom well, he's my MP. Thank you for inspiring me to get involved. Awesome, wonderful. I met Jamil for the first time. Oh, we were in the lobby, I think, of the house, and we were in the Oppo lobby, and yeah, he's cool. I like him. And then I was going to say the first time it was when he came to the house, but no, it was when we were in the Oppo lobby. And then when he came here to the house last week for an interview, I was sick as a dog. So unfortunately, I just kind of said a quick hello and ran off so I didn't spread my germs.
So, sorry, I'm not really paying attention because
Thanks.
I have to read this one. So, Anubis Hades with a $500 super chat.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
It's not taxpayer money. I would have used it on Naughty No games. So instead, here you go. Take your fight to the CTV. By the way, the PM still sucks for creating this trade deal, or cratering this trade deal that was supposed to happen last year and still hasn't. Keep up the good fight, and hope the kid's all right.
Thank you. Yes, he's doing really good. Maybe too good. I keep looking down at my lap. I'm not doing anything weird. It's just he's on my phone. What's he doing right now? Let's see.
Holy moly.
He's supposed to be sleeping, but I don't think he actually is.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you kindly. This thing is such garbage.
Yeah, I'm having trouble over here too. Oh, he's in bed playing a game. Thank you.
There's a couple of other ones. So
yep,
I would prioritize them, but YouTube is being absolute garbage tonight, folks. So we'll just get through these.
So this one I think maybe got skipped earlier. It is from Conservative Uprising. CTV headline: NP Nation defeats CTV in court. Yeah, I hope so. Like,
would anyone report it though?
Yeah, number one, I really hope it doesn't get to that point. I hope they just let the claim go, because even though I firmly believe that we did use it correctly, it still costs money to go to court. It's a lot of stress. It's not something I want to have to go through again.
And something like this will probably go for like 3 years.
Yeah, and they'll drag it out.
Let's see. Kate Pacey for $20. Wishing you all the best in your fight, and hopefully it gives you positive growth for Northern. Oh, wait, we already got that one.
The next one is from Sully Canuck.
For $20. Hey guys, it's Bradley. There's
awesome.
the man. There's the man.
Excellent.
Made the CTV news, ironically. Glad I met you in Woodstock. So funny that I followed just behind you into the parking lot. Hope I got you a few more subs wearing my NP t-shirt.
Thank you.
After when you sent me that photo with me and Pierre, that was great. So there you go. You're famous. Print it out, put it on your wall.
You know, it was a nice photo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Conservative Uprising member for 15 months. CTV headline. We got that. And Rev says for $5. Generally speaking, I suspect that nothing that was presented by the U.S. would ever be accepted. The Liberals need TDS active to try for another win.
Yeah. You know, I just wish that the politicians in this country would do what is good for the citizens and not what is good for their political career.
Stop playing politics.
Yeah, and it's, you know, again, it's not all of them, obviously, but the Liberals, like this batch of Liberals, seems to be doing it quite a bit.
Rider for $5. Theory CBC is trying to use legal and financial pressure to shut down competition. They're assuming you can't afford the cost of a years-long legal fight. Well, we have some friends in civil liberties unions, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And
Myron ends with a $2 super chat. It says, do it. Thank you.
I think I got that one.
Did
Unless
you?
you sent another one. YouTube sucks tonight.
Yeah,
folks.
YouTube's all over the place. So again, if you think we've missed your super chat, just let us know. Or let Barnaby or Jack know. We're not doing it on purpose. It just seems to be very all over the place.
Yeah, and like it's not even letting me do anything.
Maybe you should refresh your browser.
I did.
Oh, Peter.
Here's one from Mason for $50.
Thank you very much.
very much. Keep up the good work. We need to fix the brainwashed voters in our country.
I was just gonna say, yeah, and you know what? It takes time. You might not reach them in one conversation or 10 conversations or even 50 conversations, but just keep having those good conversations with folks. You never know when they're going to come around.
And Greg Penny for $280.
Thank you very
Holy
much.
moly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. The Walt for $28. Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you. We definitely will. Snafu. Oh, snafu. Do you know what snafu means? Can't say it on here.
Oh, I was going to say, is it something vulgar?
Situation normal. All messed up. So for $7, trade war with a $32 trillion economy is like going to a gunfight with Leatherman. Yeah.
Peter Witten for $5. Thank you very much. It says, I was at AMO in Ottawa this past week. Corey Tonight has the mentality of a spoiled 13-year-old narcissist. Disgusting that he was the keynote speaker. Yeah.
We disagree with Corey Tonight.
We do, yeah. If you can't be nice, keep it to yourself, right?
But I think the best thing for us to do is now to just ignore that he even exists, because most people don't even know who the heck Corey Tonight is.
If you deprive him of oxygen,
it'll die.
It can't burn, right? Like it can't cause problems.
Whiffers SS for $10. Don't be surprised if CTV doesn't back down. I've seen cases where those with deep pockets do such things in the hopes that you either back off or that they can drag out the case to break you. We will see what happens.
Yeah, we will see what happens. I honestly can't see them spending the money to take this to court when, like, the video itself, although it was our best performing video, it was less than $800, I think. It's not enough to me to go to court for. That's my opinion.
Well, no, like, so here's the deal. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up.
Anyway, while you're doing that, thank you to In Deep Art for a $10 super chat. Thank you very much.
Let's see, CTV. I think
like they would spend more in lawyers' fees than they would to actually like get the money from the video.
So here's what makes this completely stupid, folks. When you copyright claim a video, what that does, so there's two different things you can do. You can do a takedown request, which
is a copyright strike,
takes the video down. Or you can just do a copyright claim, which means you start earning revenue from the time you issued the claim onward. So if you claim a video really early on, like within the first hour, you will earn the majority of the money you end up earning on that, or you get on that video. If you do it really late, you're going to earn hardly anything. Well, let me show you the point in this video's life cycle that CTV claimed it. Right here. So it was at, I think, 150 33,000 views by the time it ended. And it had already elapsed 126,400 views at that point in its life cycle. Which means they would be entitled to a couple of bucks. So this is the silliness of it. Are we going to go to court? Are they going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars on their lawyers to go to court for a couple of bucks?
Probably not. Well, and then again, we believe that we have applied the law correctly and that they wouldn't win anyways.
All the consultations we've done, we've been doing it correctly.
Right. And again, you never know for sure until you get in front of a judge, but our belief is that we applied the copyright law correctly and attributed it correctly and that we did everything right. And this shouldn't even be an issue.
I gotta respond to this. Someone said, I didn't realize there are actual conservatives in Ontario. There's actually 50 MPs from Ontario that are conservative.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of conservatives,
there's
yeah.
lots of conservatives in Ontario. Lots and lots.
We're in the more rural areas, but yeah, but where we are actually in Hamilton East Stony Creek is pretty urban, right? It's like downtown Stony Creek and the rest of Stony Creek. There is some farmland in Stony Creek and up through Elfrida, but yeah, it had been Liberal for a long time, and Ned worked really, really hard and was able to win it.
He worked his butt off.
Yeah, he did. And he still does.
Legion 14 for $5. This always happens. Are you saying you are saying important things and a bloody ad plays? For the love of all that is holy, YouTube timing sucks.
I know. I'm sorry.
We've heard that before.
I think you missed the one from Myron Ends, unless you don't see it on your screen.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Myron Ends for $20. You keep talking to the people. Keep exposing the garbage behind the lines. We need more of you, not less. Bring it. There you go.
Well, we're not going to stop.
Rosés for $5. When it comes to the mainstream media, the whole thing smacks of the process being the punishment. The strike creators. They strike creators to stop criticism of the Liberal government.
Well, and from my understanding of the copyright strike system in YouTube, if a particular channel keeps abusing it, they could have their channel removed. Like that's like the maximum punishment. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there
are ways to fight back. So the real Bat Cave, as opposed to the fake Bat Cave. For $2, emotions win elections nowadays, not COL, crime, etc. Cost
of living, yeah. Unfortunately, it's true. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine going, okay, well, it's $6 for a carton of milk now, or almost $6, and eggs are like $5 a dozen. And you know what? I really like that guy's hair. I'm going to vote for him. You know.
Frosty 8 for $20. Before Trump came back into office, he floated the idea of tariffs because he wanted to bring manufacturing to USA. He understood that the world was taking advantage of the USA's market.
Yeah,
push out or negotiate.
I definitely think there's some truth to that. That especially when it comes to the manufacturing sectors in Windsor and Quebec, for example. If you're putting like these extravagant tariffs on it, a lot of these companies will go, well, why don't I just move across the border?
Well, one of the biggest problems is that American companies made the decision over decades to outsource their labor. And they outsourced it to Mexico, and they outsourced it to China, and they outsourced it to countries where they didn't have to pay Americans
American wages.
Right.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump decided, well, I'm going to force these companies to come back here by putting in all these tariffs. Rightly or wrongly, Donald Trump is doing what he thinks is best for the United States. It's a crap deal for Canada.
For sure.
And I hate that he's tariffed the crap out of us.
Because
and this is where Mark Carney is supposed to get a good deal.
Right, because once we lose those jobs, they are not coming back.
And Mark Carney promised a good deal.
Yeah.
That's what he elected. This was the only thing he got elected on, to deal with Donald Trump. And I think the maybe I should say this after this mythical deal comes in, but I was going to say I think the jury's in on this and that he sucks at it. But we will see. I am not impressed with Mr. Mark Carney.
No, and again, if he's doing this to further his political career or the party's standing in Canada or whatever it happens to be, and not prioritizing the well-being of Canada's economy and its citizens, like that's not okay. I don't know for sure that's what he's doing, but if that's what he's doing, that's just not cool.
Anyhow, we have Oak Tree for $2. Love you guys, and please keep fighting for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Strange Brew, member for 6 months. Carney killed the deal because of the by-elections. That's the thought. That's one of the thoughts, or let's just say delayed it. RC Lamoureux for $5. The trade deal is all made up propaganda. We're experiencing a wag the dog event that is run by a senior Canadian politician that nobody suspects. Interesting.
I don't know. Do you know what a wag the dog event is? Because I don't.
So what a wag the dog event is when the dog isn't in control of the tail. The tail's in control of the dog.
Interesting.
So the body is like the government, and you know, somebody's like pulling the strings almost. That's my definition of it anyway. Richard Courier for $7. Anglicized, it's pronounced Courier. Perfect. Courier. I will forget it and I apologize about it, but I will try to remember. Just like Rob Robillard. Eventually, I got Robillard.
I was going to say, it took you a little bit, but eventually you got it. Andy Osakin.
I always second guess myself on the Osakin. -1-2 for $5. CBC used to not disclose the name of their journalists and just report news. It's time we go back to that rule because journalism isn't showbiz. Well, it was funny because on that CBC clip, I've kind of felt bad for the previous anchor. She's a woman. You've seen her interview different people. She doesn't really come across as a warm person. But regardless, she was in the middle of introducing a guest. She was in the middle of introducing Mr. Appleton. Right in the middle of it. And then all of a sudden, David Cochran swoops in and she's like, oh, I guess I'm not doing this. David Cochran is there. So I guess David is, let me see if I can bring it up. It's actually wild. Go ahead and.
Okay. Sorry, whose did you just read?
I read -1-2.
-1-2. Oh, yeah. Okay. Next one is a $100 super chat from Jason Craig. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Thank you. It says, I've been following you since the hand puppets and I couldn't afford a subscription. It's not much, but let's say I had a good month with a winky face. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much for that, Jason. We really appreciate that. Next one is a $2 super chat from Peter Witten. It says, Carney's narcissistic nihilism trumps Trump.
Okay, let's see.
Say that 3 times fast.
Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works, folks.
Okay.
For that, the CBC's Alexander Silberman. You will all note that I am not David Cochran. Catherine Cullen sitting in here in Toronto. We're having some technical difficulties. David will be back with us in a minute, but we are going to keep on this story, the important story today, this question of the end of the trade deal between Canada and the United States and the U.S. tariffs now being implemented, Canada going ahead with counter tariffs. We are going to take a closer look at what is happening. We have another guest with us in just a moment here. I believe, folks. Yes, we have Barry Appleton. Oh, but before we get to Barry Appleton, we are also going to bring David Cochran back into the mix. David, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm back, Catherine.
Just weird.
Well, I guess it was a technical issue.
I guess he was having a technical difficulties, but it was just...
Wasn't quite how you remembered.
It was just weird. Weird. Anyway. So I guess it wasn't as shady as what I remembered. So anyway, finding the stuff in an 8-hour live stream, because that was an 8-hour video, is sometimes difficult. So.
And ladies and gentlemen, the NP Governor General has arrived. This is Pixel. For those of you who haven't met her yet, we have 3 cats here at Northern Perspective, and this is the largest and the oldest Pixel.
Yes. Did you get Greg Penny? Welcome back to NP supporter. Well, I already got it there.
Thank you.
And cars and movies for $10. Well, Mexico got the trade deal with the U.S. We would be there with both of them too, but we have a small problem with the Liberals.
Small problem.
Well,
Large problem.
Here's the thing, right? So Mexico didn't have a problem. So if Mexico had an easy problem with Donald Trump and the Americans, they're not negotiating with Donald Trump, they're negotiating with the American team like Jameson Greer. Why couldn't Mark Carney? Just saying. If you go by the resume, Gloria Steinbaum has an inferior resume to the governor of everything, Mark Carney.
Governor of everything.
So, just saying, Donald Trump is not the easiest person to negotiate with. Don't get me wrong, but why is it that Mexico, you didn't hear any drama, you didn't hear any problems with it? They were just, let's get a deal done. No grandstanding, and all of a sudden, there you go. Anyway.
I just want to address this in the chat from Jason Craig. Did Pixel gain ... fur? No, she gained fat. And she also lost a couple teeth a few weeks ago at the vet. The vet had to take them out because they were infected, but she's doing really good.
I would say for $5. I wonder if we can do a Freedom of Information request to get a number from Carney's blind trust and see how much he is shorting the Canadian dollar.
Can you get something like that on a private? Well, he's not really a private citizen though. He's the prime minister.
No, but because it's in a blind trust, I don't think you can get it.
Oh.
Mazda Man for $10. What's the worst thing that can happen to Canada if we can't get a trade deal with the U.S.? Do you guys think there are Liberal government influencers on Facebook? Oh, there probably are.
Actually, we have requested to submit a freedom of not FOI,
OPQ.
sorry, an OPQ when Parliament's back in session to see if the Liberal government is still paying influencers.
Yes.
So we shall see.
So that they have to respond to that. I think it's within 30 days or something, whether they do or not. And RC Lamoureux for $2. Will the real Pierre Poilievre please stand? Stornoway squatter.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, the leader of the official opposition has had a home stored away for
generations.
Yeah, a long time. Since before I was born, we'll put it that way. And I think maybe in Canadian politics, we forget how important the opposition is and how, what do you want to say? How prestigious the role of leader of the opposition is. It's like the reverse equivalent to the prime minister, right? Like kind of like how you have matter and antimatter. It's prime minister and leader of the opposition. They both have a job to do, and it's both a really important job.
76 years.
There you go. So way older than me.
That's for me for $14. This is this Richard? No, Lima Sierra. Tats me for $14. Very happy to hear the good news regarding Vincent. Take the law to CTV. I bet they back off and are only doing this to disrupt you.
Maybe.
We will find out in roughly 19 days.
And thank you very much to Greg Penny with a $280 super chat. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that.
I did get
thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Worth saying thank you again. And VIP Fools and Spas and Anubis Hades. Thank you all.
And Jason Craig.
And Jason Craig.
Yeah.
Jake the Gamer for $28 as a machinist. When I told you we are trying to survive, I mean it's worse now. It's survival here in Windsor. Work has been put on hold. I can't wait for Pierre to come here tomorrow so I can speak to him again about the trade. Yeah. It's I can't imagine what all you folks in Windsor are going through. Like there's folks going through this across the country, but just because I've gotten to know a few of the folks down in Windsor, so it's a little bit more personal, right? So so all the folks down there, Chris and John and Nicole and all the folks fighting, just keep up the fight. can't imagine what you guys are going through. So, Jim, oh, here's some running upstairs.
No, that's the cats because
Okay.
Vincent's still in his room.
Perfect. Jim Ross for $10. Mark Carney stated that he always is truthful, except when it's been proven beyond a doubt that he has. Then he talked, well, I have nothing. I have nothing but cash and real estate.
Except
And all of my investments.
the lie detector determined that was a lie. We need that meme.
Right? Like, right here, he was lying his butt off.
Look inside yourself.
Lying his butt off. And Jim Ross for $10. Yep, I already said that. And then he talks tough for Liberal base. Liberal Party lies regularly. It's all pure CPC fault. Yep.
Well, and who was I speaking with yesterday about this? I can't recall, but I was saying one of the issues in Canada is that we don't teach civics properly. So a lot of people don't understand how our parliament works, and they also don't pay attention to the news, so they don't see what's actually going on, and that's why they continue to support the Liberals and blame the Conservatives.
Yep. And we have Carol Riom for $5. How much influence do we think China has over Carney in telling him to drag this out?
I don't know.
Hard to say. If hard to say what is there, like.
There's no evidence so far, right?
Yeah. All the conversations were private, so.
Yeah.
So hard to say. Peru for $7. How fast will it take small and medium businesses to be decimated if we don't get a deal? Seems like small businesses were hurt during the COVID lockdowns. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
So economists are saying that it's going to be
bad.
They're estimating in the short term over 20,000 jobs lost, and businesses are starting to pack up. And here's the biggest problem. Why would you invest in Canada right now when there's so much uncertainty?
Well, and all the foreign investment that's coming in is actually going to buy
Bonds.
businesses and close them down.
Or buying government debt.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Like, there's all of this foreign investment coming in.
No.
It's not coming in to create jobs. What it is doing is to buy government debt. And that's out there. That's a fact. And in terms of these businesses, remember what they were saying at committee way back in April. We need certainty. We need certainty, and we need to know what the timeline is. We need to know what the plan is. And guess what the government hasn't been doing? They haven't been telling anybody what's been going on. So a lot of these businesses have been, okay, fine. I guess we're done.
Well, even the opposition doesn't know. And like
even the industry leaders don't know.
Yeah, they're supposed to be telling the opposition. Like, I remember there was at least one time in the past year where the Carney government did not give information to the opposition, and we were able to find it on the internet because they had given it to the press instead.
Yeah, it was out in the press before it was given to the opposition. Even Trudeau's government included the opposition.
Yeah.
How messed up is that? Is that Justin Trudeau is more transparent than Mark Carney?
And thank you to Kathy Hermanson for gifting 20 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
thank you,
I hope you thanked everybody who got one of those. Thanked Kathy.
Oh, Pazuzu's here.
One more and then question period. Yeah.
Sure. Matthew, member for 18 months. Is Ryan getting notes from The Simpsons? Maybe. Maybe. And Megaman Zero for $5. Carney to Marcolini wants the fusion of the Canadian state and economy. So wonder he is killing businesses that would vote Conservative. Well, he's definitely not being nice to the areas that didn't vote Liberal, that's for darn sure. And Goko Donnie for $10. Finally parked. Been listening since you went live, and I was not in cellular zombie land. CTV needs a lesson. This should be fun. Sick 'em. All of you. Hold nothing back.
We'll do the best we can. And thank you to Myron Ends with a $20 super chat. It says every day is exactly the same. 9-inch nails.
I'll do 3 more.
3 more?
Chon for $7. We needed mines and pipelines 10 years ago. Now where are we? And Liberals will try to be the heroes. We don't need French labels either. And
It's true, though. We did need a pipeline 10 years ago.
We did. And Rob K, remember for 32 months in a Darth Sidious voice. Do it. And we have Kathy Hermanson for $50. Thank you
very much.
CTV is just jealous that you have more viewers than they do.
Yeah. We do have more viewers than they do on YouTube anyways.
You know what? Vashi Capellas tried to warn them. She tried to warn them.
You know, and so I had seen it earlier in the day. If somebody asked if we still like Vashi, yeah, I do. I think she's an excellent journalist.
I wish I could show you the crap that she's saying now.
Yeah.
She's calling this out as it is.
Yeah, she is an excellent journalist. It's just whoever's handling the social media, I guess, is, I don't know.
Which is funny because they haven't come after it on Facebook. So anyway, here we go, folks.
Questions, oral questions.
Oral questions.
Let's be careful about some of the words we use. People are watching at home. Their kids are watching.
All right, it is NP question period time where you guys ask us the questions and we will provide an answer as long as we know what it is. First question is from Jessica Van Luke. It says, did you see Kyle Seaback's clip back post against Jamil, and do you think he's trying to get Pierre to kick out Jamil? So for the first half of the question, I did see it. The second half of the question, I don't think there's any evidence that shows that was his goal. And also I want to add that a lot of the MPs don't even handle their own social media accounts. The staffers do. So there's no way of knowing if it was Kyle Seaback or one of the staffers, or maybe even somebody else who had posted that.
I have nothing to add to
Yeah,
that. So.
because that's how it is. They don't always handle their own social media.
But it was promptly deleted, and
Not promptly enough, I guess.
so we'll see what happens from here. So
Cindy I4W asks, do you believe he tanked the deal because he knew it was going to tank his polling numbers? It's possible.
well,
Yeah.
so that's kind of the flip side of the theory of the by-elections, is that it could have been a political calculation that, you know, if we can push this off for another little bit and wait until after the by-elections, you know, then we secure those seats and that's the possibility. And this is just the political strategy theory that I have on this. But it's been acknowledged as a plausible theory. So
Craftwork0243 asks, Trump said that if Canada retaliates, the U.S. would respond with equivalent further increases. Why does Carney think it's going to be different this time?
So this is what Appleton was saying,
Yeah.
right? This is exactly what Appleton was warning about. And then what? Are we just going to keep going back and forth? Because here's the problem. We are a 110-pound dude fighting a 600-pound gorilla. You can only trade so many punches before you get knocked out.
Or get rabies.
But this is why you don't you don't continue this trade fight. Trump started this, but you don't continue it. You get to the negotiating table and get a freaking deal. Like, yeah. I don't see any good reason
to
that you just back away from the trade. And you know, all right, bring everybody back. What?
Yeah, why? Why would you do that? Like, send everybody to their hotel rooms for the night.
Cool
like,
off.
brief the prime minister and be like, okay, this is what you're going to do in the morning. Like, why would you just walk away and then go, oh, but we're not going to retaliate until September 8th?
Mark Carney, the master negotiator, walk away. Got it.
Like, that's the part that seems strange to me. You know what's at stake. If you need a break, I think you could say to Ambassador Greer and his team, like, hey, listen, we've been going at this for a few hours. Why don't we just take a break? We'll come back at it in the morning and let's do it again.
But this is why it is so vital that we see the deal.
Yeah.
Because if there's stuff in there that the Americans were asking for that any sane person would say absolutely not, and they were just being completely stonewalled, and okay, I get it. But we don't see the deal.
Right.
And this is...
But even what we have been told, like, for example, Carney had told the press, and you'll forgive me, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but basically that the United States wanted to control our trading partners. That's in Kuzma. We already agreed to that.
So.
Next question is from Tony Clark. It says, how many seats do you win, or do you think we can win in the by-elections? I'm going to say probably in BC. So at least one.
I don't think we're getting the BC.
No?
It depends on how that's going out there, because I know there's to people's point, there's been a big shift out there. People are asking, how did Trump start this with the trade with the tariffs last year in 2025? There were no tariffs before, or there weren't the new tariffs that Trump put on everything. That's what I was referring to. So there may be a big shift to conservatives in BC. That'd be nice. There's a shot we can regain the Chicoutimi one that was conservative before the resignation. Hopefully. And if we don't get it, I hope the Bloc does, but I hope we get it. So, but it is a possibility, brace yourselves, that we don't win any of them. So.
Next question is from Gothic Blonde. It says, what are the chances of Carney going into hiding if details of the failed deal are made public? I suppose it depends on what's in that failed deal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, if theoretically the Americans were asking for like just some crazy stuff and he said no, okay, well, Canadians can understand that. I think even conservative Canadians would understand that. But if it was, what do you want to say, like a fair deal, and he rejected it anyways, then I think you're going to have Canadians that are upset. Cindy I4W asks, what are your thoughts about election speculation? I keep hearing from conservative creators that they think Carney will call it with all the support he will get now.
I disagree.
I don't really see a purpose for calling it. I think we had discussed this last week, where he's got a majority right now.
Again, don't get me wrong. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's nothing anybody can really do about it.
No, but my point is go ahead. Do it right now. The narrative that you have will not be one that I think you will want.
Well, and that's it. It's like, okay, we had an election a year and a half ago. You already have a majority, so therefore you're slated to sit for another 2.5 years. 2.5 years? Yeah, 2.5 years. And if you call an election right now for no reason other than you want to call an election, that's wasting another $600 million that Canadians can't afford. And what, are you going to end up with the exact same results?
Well, and again, it's the same reason that it would have been dumb for him to call an election last fall, which is, well, it's even actually worse now. You have a manufactured majority right now. You want to go to an election now in the middle of this crisis that you were warning about last year? Really? Okay, go for it. See what the opposition says. All of them. Not just the Conservatives, the Bloc and the NDP. They will be coming after him saying, why are we going to an election right now? This obviously isn't about getting a mandate, because you have a manufactured majority. Now you just want more power.
Yeah.
And he's welcome to do it, because remember Paul Martin calling that election? He lost it.
I don't think, though, I've ever seen a instance, and you guys can let me know if there was one, but where a government with a majority dissolves parliament in order to go to election again to try to get another majority. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's just a waste of money.
Yep.
Scotty W8R asks, polls say that 70 to 85% of respondents say they support Carney without knowing the details of the trashed agreement. Speculate on the change when the documents come out. So first I'm going to say that 70 to 85%, that's a 15% margin of error. That's huge. So I'm kind of curious to know who ran that poll.
And the sample.
Yeah, and the sample size and all that fun stuff. But I can speculate that if Carney was correct based on if the documents come out and they say like, yeah, okay, that was a reasonable decision, then it'll go up. And if it was an unreasonable decision, then it'll go down.
Yeah. It's hard. We'd have to know the details of the actual data for the poll to even kind of speculate that. Because if it was all liberal voters over the age of 65, I think it would go up.
But even though that's like a huge margin of error for a poll.
Well,
usually they're like 2 to 3%. Sometimes you'll see as high as 7, which is big.
Yeah, but I don't buy it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see the source material.
That'd be like us asking who's going to win the next election, the Conservatives or the Liberals, and then 90% of people in chat, maybe 100% say Conservatives, and then we say, oh, breaking news. Canadians say that like it's not a reflective sample. So.
Sorry, I lost my place. Next one is M. Soother. It says, won't more foreign investment in infrastructure weaken Canada? Highway 407 tolls equal $2 billion a year, and Spain gets 49%. We should own our roads, bridges, and power grids.
It depends on whether you talk. So there's investment, then there's ownership. Sometimes they're the same, and it depends on what that means. If you have like, investment come in and they maintain a minority ownership in whatever you're doing, then you're fine, right? Then you're fine. Then it's Canadian owned and Canadian controlled, and it doesn't matter if the foreign investor jumps up and down and hollers and whatever they do. The Canadian controlling interest can actually dictate what's going on. Where it becomes a problem is when you don't have that controlling interest. And the concern about China is actually having a bunch of different shell corporations that they own, and then they start buying into these companies, and they end up with a controlling interest that's not transparent. That's some of the control. So in that respect, you're 100% bang on.
Honestly, I think that one of the worst things the Harris government did here in Ontario was sell the 407.
Yeah. Remember when, and that was a Conservative premier.
Yeah.
Remember when we were only going to have tolls until it was paid off?
Right.
Wonder how long until we sell the Gordie Howe Bridge to the United States.
I don't know, but like that was one of the worst things that they could have done.
Because we're only gonna pay tolls on the bridge until it's paid off, right?
Next one is from Paw Prince in 1986. I'm going to an event my MP is hosting this week, first time ever. MP has made me motivated about getting involved. What can I expect?
Oh, neat.
That's awesome.
Depends on what event it is.
Yeah, what kind of event it is. Sometimes, like if they're doing a Pints and Politics, for example, one of the EDAs that we work with does those quite often. It's just like everybody goes to the bar, everybody hangs out, you can order dinner. Sometimes they will order some appetizers for you to pick at. And then maybe a few people stand up and say a few words, and it's just kind of interacting with everybody, getting to know people. It's not really super formal. Sometimes there are events that
like if it's like a town hall or on a topic, then what you'll expect is an MP, maybe a couple of guests. They will start the event by saying a bunch of things. Sometimes they'll then take questions from the crowd, and then after that there'll be opportunities to go and talk to the MP. If a lot of people want to talk to them, then there'll be a big line. But if you do have any NP Nation representative merchandise, wear it. Just because it's not that we want to advertise, but the point is that people may recognize that you're wearing it, and then they'll be like,
you have something to talk about. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you probably already have something to talk about with all the folks there, because everybody's there because they're Conservative or that they voted for that MP. And actually, you know what? I shouldn't say everybody, because sometimes, for example, about a year ago, our MP Ned had hosted a town hall regarding crime. And it was for everybody in the community. It was for everybody in the surrounding communities even. And there were people there that didn't necessarily vote for Ned, but they were able to interact and ask questions and see what Ned and the Conservative Party are going to be doing to help stop crime in Hamilton.
Yep.
Oh, and if your MP is like collecting emails or anything like that for an email list, if you're interested in going to more of these things, you may want to get on the list, and that way you'll get emails in your inbox about upcoming events. I find that the EDAs and the MPs themselves don't email as often as the Conservative Party, like the National Party. So you're not going to get like an email in your inbox every week asking for money. But it can be a good place to start to get more information about what's going on in your community.
So somebody says, Mario for the North reported the real reason why the talks broke. Check that video. I did check that video. I talked to Mario afterwards. He agrees with me. But the other thing that you can do is that there will be people from the EDA that are there. And if you're interested, if you want to get more involved, talk to one of them and just say, hey, how can I get more involved? And they will love you.
And introduce yourself to the staff, like the MP staff. If you don't know the office staff, that could be a great place to start too. Just because they're the ones sending out the mailers usually. So yeah. Janet Kret asks, what is with all the Trump haters in the stream? No facts, just opinions.
Yeah, and you know it's interesting because we take an objective view. You know, we're not Trump haters, but I don't like that he's terrifying our country.
Right.
So, you know, we can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. But I'm also not blaming Trump for all the problems in our country, because that is for the Liberal government.
Yeah, that's been baking for the last decade.
And we would have been in far better position to actually deal with Donald Trump and this situation with the United States if we actually were, well, focused on our economy on the last 11 years instead of, you know, Justin Trudeau's wardrobe. So that's where we're at here.
Next question is from Jeff McQuiggan. It says, could you make a graphic or even a video compiling a list of where Canada was 18 months ago versus today to see the net progress Carney has made in his rule?
Ooh, that would be a huge
Yeah, that would be a
graph.
huge project.
We have for tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's minus the 50% that is coming up. But if you check out our X or Facebook post and you go back a little bit, you'll see an infographic on how the tariffs have changed. But for everything, maybe I'll just be blank. So I don't know if we could do something as wide ranging as that.
Jessica Van Luke asks, do you think the Conservative Party of Canada will split? I'm seeing so many people trying to make this happen. I'm getting very anxious here. I don't know. Like, I think if maybe somebody like Corey Knight comes in and pretty much has Pierre removed as leader, I think that's going to cause a lot of problems, because I cannot remember another leader in recent history who has galvanized the base the way that Pierre has.
Well, and listen, convention 2026, 84.7% of delegates voted in confidence of Pierre's leadership. Are we a party of democracy or are we not? That's the question.
Some people are trying to make it so that we're not, right?
Well, that's it. Yeah. So if we can't even practice democracy within our own party, and if we let this kind of corruption go within our own party, what does that say? Now, some people would say, well, you know, what does that say when O'Toole was ousted? Well, I don't recall if O'Toole had that same leadership review. I don't recall.
I think, did he not step down after the election because Candice Bergen was the interim leader for like 8 or 9 months, I think? Because the election was September of 2021. And that I think either he stepped down right away or maybe he knew he was going to step down.
No, he was removed.
Oh, he was removed. Okay.
Yeah, he was voted out in a 73 to 45 secret ballot.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's what I mean. I don't know if there was an actual leadership review done prior to that, right? So,
well, let's think, because the last election before that was 2019,
which was Scheer.
And then, yeah, you'd have to line up when the conventions were. So I don't know.
Anyhow,
I don't think O'Toole was leader that long, because it would have been less than 2 years. It's probably closer to like a year and a few months, because if when Scheer was no longer leader, then you usually have like a 6, 8, 10 month leadership race, right? Anyway. Next question is from Jim Volk. It says, apparently I have to prove my citizenship to renew my Alberta's driver's license. We'll see what happens in 3 years when I have to get mine renewed. What the hell? So I don't know how the driver's licenses are in Alberta. I don't know if it's like an advanced driver's license that you can use as proof of citizenship to cross the border. Here in Ontario, I think they had talked about those, but I don't think we actually have them. I'm not 100% certain. But that's the only kind of case that I can see of them asking for your citizenship if they're going to put it on your license. You know what I mean?
So Gordon Muir is saying either speak louder or just sound a bit. Please and thank you. Are people having problems hearing me? Can you let me know in chat?
Sorry, I'm still getting over my laryngitis, so I haven't been like super loud.
I was saying you can't hear me. So.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we'll see what chat says.
This is from Pure Essence. It says, if retaliatory tariffs take place on September 8th, which Canadian sector faces the most immediate vulnerability, and what countermeasures can Ottawa offer, or what countermeasures can Ottawa realistically deploy? So it would be Canada that is taking, or that is putting into effect the tariffs on the 8th. I think the American ones are already in effect.
They're in now.
Yeah. So that's Canadians shipping stuff to the United States.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Furniture is one of them.
That Canadians cannot ship to the United States without incurring a tariff?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. But coming the other way from the United States to Canada, I don't even know if they have told us yet what items or what sectors they're going to be putting tariffs on.
So here's there's a lot. Here's a bunch of it. Milk and cream, whey and milk protein, bones and horn cones, basically a bunch of dairy, non-alcoholic beer, densified wood blocks, wood tableware, furniture, as I said, skewers, ice cream sticks, natural honey, motor vehicles order, makeup, candles, plastic, radar equipment,
T-shirts, sweaters, trousers, dresses,
fishing rods. Like it's all across like a bunch of different things. So it's all over the place. But a lot of it is dairy related by the looks of it. So, and what can the Canadian government do? Well, this is the tricky part. I don't have an answer for that.
They can get back to the negotiating table.
Well, that's what I do.
I think that's the only thing that they can do.
Now, I am not a international trade expert either, so I'm probably not the best person to be. You might as well ask me, can you diagnose my brain surgery, issue that I need done? And I would probably say no.
Probably. Let's hope you would say no.
You never say never, but probably. But what could Canada do? I don't know enough about it to know what tools that Mark Carney realistically could use. So all I know is that we're the 110-pound dude with a 600-pound gorilla down there. Like, there's not a lot we can do.
Yeah.
There's still some things we can do, but how do you deal with that while minimizing damage to Canadians? That's the tricky part. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but it would hurt Canadians. What can you do to minimize the effect of Canadians? That's the tricky part. I know. Let's make things in Canada. Oh, wait. We should have been doing that 11 years ago. but we're a post-nationalist nation now, right, Justin Trudeau?
Cindy I4W says, why is Pierre not calling Carney out for tanking this deal intentionally and seem to support him rejecting this deal? I was shocked by his comments, to be honest. I think because we don't know the details yet. We don't know for certain that Carney just pulled the plug on the deal to improve his political chances. We have no idea, right? That's just pure speculation. So as the leader of the opposition, as the prime minister in waiting, Pierre's going to have to give him that benefit of the doubt and just kind of have to trust that the prime minister is working in Canadians' best interest. And then if it comes out later that Carney's not working in Canadians' best interest and this was a political ploy, then Pierre can go after him.
Here's a different perspective. The Conservatives have been calling on Mark Carney to reject any deal that doesn't have zero tariffs. And they've been saying this all along. So it's politically problematic for Mark Carney to reject a deal that had non-zero tariffs in there, and for the Conservatives to be now critical of that. That's what you have to navigate if you're Pierre and if you're the Conservatives. Because if they immediately say, well, why did you reject that? The counter to that is, you've just been saying that Carney should not accept any deal unless there's 0% tariffs in there. So what's your problem? Right? So this is the careful tightrope that they have to navigate. But as you heard Shuv say, this is where the criticism can now come into play, because they're saying, listen, you guys put us here in the first place, and you won't tell us what was in the deal. So, sure, reject a deal that doesn't have 0% tariffs, but you won't even tell us what was in the deal in the first place.
Yeah.
So this is where they have to be careful so that they maintain the consistency of their argument and their criticism beforehand. Otherwise, everything falls flat in his face, and then the Conservative Party has no credibility in anyone's eyes. Because now it's just, well, you're just criticizing just to criticize. And then they will take it a step further and say you're being unpatriotic.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we know how the media spins things, right?
So it may be frustrating to hear some of this, but they have to be careful in their messaging and how they're going to navigate. And
they're playing the long game.
They are playing the long game. The Conservatives have been playing the long game
for a while.
Since May of 2025.
Dwarf Kingling 2660 asks, how likely is it Carney will use this no deal to get a majority through federal election this fall or winter?
I say unlikely.
Yeah, again, I don't see why he would dissolve Parliament when he already has a majority. Like,
he'll get crucified.
Yeah. I mean, unless they lose so many seats in the by-election, which I unfortunately don't see happening, they're going to have that fragile majority for a while longer.
Again, you want to go in an election and you want to have that conversation, because the conversation is, well, wait a minute, what are we having an election for? I thought we had the Donald Trump election last year. So this isn't about the Donald Trump election. This is about, I want more seats election.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not going to happen.
Jessica Van Luke asks, what are your thoughts on Pierre's statement? I thought it was very measured. I mean, there's not really much else you can do in this situation. If you see your opponent continually failing and there's just been a huge blow to the country, I think the worst thing you could do would be to point and laugh and be like, well, you're an idiot and blah, 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 and I could have done better. No, that's not going to help Canadians. What you need to do is what Pierre did and offer your help and wait until more details come out.
And part of what Pierre said is he has asked all of his members of parliament to contact any of their American contacts to advocate for 0% tariffs. This maintains their message consistency. This maintains their criticism consistency. And this allows them to navigate this interim period to whenever there is a deal and we do end up with tariffs that are never ending or new tariffs on Canadian products, then they can return to Mark Carney didn't get the 0% tariffs that he promised. So,
well, and additionally, if Conservatives contact their American counterparts and are able to secure a 0% tariff, that just shows Canadians, look, the Conservatives were able to get this even though they weren't in government. Why are the Liberals still in government?
but we're not going to end up with 0% tariffs. But the point is that Mark Carney promised that we would.
And that's a problem.
And that's the key point.
Yeah.
And that's what the Conservatives need to be careful of. And they can't hammer him on it right now because they're not at the negotiating table. And from their messaging standpoint, they rejected an offer. Again, we don't even know what's in the deal. But they rejected an offer where there's tariffs remaining on Canadian supplies, which is what the Conservatives, by their messaging, said that they would reject in the first place. So right now, Carney is doing something that's sort of consistent with what the Conservatives were asking for. So you can't then attack him for it. What they can attack him for is that why aren't you being transparent? Why aren't you showing the deal? Why are we in this position in the first place? Yeah. So they're still going after him, but they have to be
more
careful.
Surgical. They're being more surgical this time. They're not just like, wow, he didn't get a trade deal. It's like, okay, so like Ryan said, you weren't able to secure a 0% trade deal, so therefore it was appropriate to reject the offer. But here are the areas where you're failing.
Yeah, Pam Lambert says Pierre's been reaching out all along, offering to help, but Carney's so full of himself he needs no help from Pierre. Yeah, he needs no help from allegedly everybody. So
exactly. Revucades asks, given the current rate of bankruptcies and the new lack of trade deal, how long will it take before the entire economy crashes?
Well, that's the magical question.
It's been crashing in slow motion for years.
Yeah, Mark Carney says they're going to be bailing out businesses. Well,
with whose money? Ours, right? Taxpayer money.
Which means deficit goes up. Remember, folks, every $1 billion that the Liberals borrow and add to the debt, you, and if you have a 1-month-old child, them too, they are saddled with $25 worth of taxpayer debt.
Yeah.
And that's just every $1 billion.
Yeah. Like, it's going to be messy, unfortunately.
And who always gets bailed out? The big businesses. Who never gets bailed out?
Small businesses.
Small businesses.
Independent Canadians who are losing their homes.
And they're the
losing
backbone
their
of
jobs.
the economy.
Right. Yeah,
Money printer goes blur.
Yeah. You know, we joke, but it's not good.
It's the liberal way. We spend our way out of every problem.
Yeah. Dig up, stupid.
Yeah, dig up. Yeah. Two more.
Conservative Uprising asks, could it be possible Carney actually calls a general election ahead of midterms? Honestly, we've answered this one multiple times. We don't think that there's going to be an election called because there's no point. He's already got a majority. Unless they lose like lots and lots of seats. And I believe that I had read, I think before Kathy Wagentall resigned and before Larry Brock resigned, that they could lose all of the by-elections except one and still retain their seat, like their majority. Let me just see here. Megaman Zero says, what would be the recourse of the Conservatives if the Liberals try to import an electorate like California's Democrat by secretly handing out citizenships?
I don't see that would happen.
No, I would say, though, that they are, because they made the changes in Bill C-3, they are sending out more birthright citizenships to people like the children of Canadians who live and were born in another country. But you might find it interesting that in the last election in 2025, more immigrants voted Conservative than they did Liberal.
Yeah, but I think they're more talking about bringing in like a Democrat establishment person to run up here. I think that's what they're saying.
To import an electorate.
Oh, maybe No, I heard that wrong. You were right.
Okay.
You're right. Two more.
Two more? Okay, let me just think here. This is from Random Person. It says, just wondering, have they come to Nova Scotia, or do they plan on coming here at some point? Because I would like to see them. If you're referring to us, we were in Nova Scotia at the end of July. We were in Barrington Passage, was it?
Barrington Passage.
Yeah. We were there for one evening with Rick Perkins. And I mean, we would like to go back. We did so much driving. We never got to like really see things and enjoy ourselves. So I would definitely like to go back. But
we tried to set something up with a second EDA in Nova Scotia. It just didn't work out. So, if you're wondering where we're going and when, just keep track of our Facebook and our X profile.
Yep.
Last one.
Okay. Let me just see here. Samson Ram asks, has anyone looked at tariff costs based on province and political leaning? Seeing posts saying the Trump tariffs are more aimed at the left-leaning provinces.
You are right.
Yeah, I don't know if that was by design or if that was just coincidence, but BC, Quebec, and Ontario are going to be the hardest hit. Now, I do feel bad because just because you're in one of those provinces does not mean you voted Liberal and therefore deserve it. There's a lot of Canadians who are going to be affected of every political stripe, and it's going to be worse in those three provinces.
Well, you know, one of the most valuable things that they get is from Alberta, which is oil. So they don't want to put anything on that because what? Yeah. We are seeing where Vincent is exploring now. So hopefully we don't have to end the stream early, folks. Anyway, let's get to here. Alrighty.
Sorry, this thing just glitched.
Oh, so he was still there?
Oh yeah, he's still on his bed.
Perfect.
The thing came up that's like, siren alert. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah,
I didn't hear anything.
I
didn't hear anything.
Okay.
I'm paranoid now, unfortunately. But...
Legion 14 for $2. Snafu situation normal, all fouled up. There you go.
There you go.
Jessica Van Lick for $7. Speaking of senators, you should interview Denise Batters. She's one of the best. Thank you. And Revisays for $5. To my comment earlier, the process in the is the punishment. The CTV may legitimately been trying to crush you. The money is not the goal. Destroying NP is. Oh, I totally get that.
Yeah, but in Canada, like if we were to win the lawsuit, for example, if there were even a lawsuit, they would have to pay up to 60% of our legal costs. So it's not really a good strategy, but yeah.
Sean for $7. Sorry, Calrion for $5. Not the smart thing to do, but no one has ever accused CTV of an overabundance of intelligence. And yeah, let's lose more viewers by going after independent critics. Good job. Sean for $7. Why aren't there any American banks or telecoms in Canada? That's an excellent
you know
question.
The answer to that one.
Regulation, my dear Watson. So the American banks could come up here, but they won't submit to the regulations that we actually have. And the regulations are actually very, very good.
And they protect Canadians.
And we're much more regulated than the American banks when it comes to mortgages, when it comes to loans, when it comes to CDOs and investments and all of this stuff.
Even like keeping your money in the bank, if you have a bank account and you can have up to $100,000 in that bank account, and it is insured by the government. So if something happens, like the bank goes under, let's say, that money's not gone.
And when it comes to telecom, so what keeps American companies out of Canada is the CRTC. So you have to go through the CRTC in order to do any business for telecom. There was every once in a while it happens. I think this was back in 2010, and they were opening a new band in the cell phone network up in Canada. And Verizon was considering bidding on it. And the big three freaked out. Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. They freaked out. Because if Verizon came up and was able to actually get that band, they knew they could not compete price-wise at all. And they lobbied and lobbied and lobbied and lobbied, and they were able to stop Verizon from coming up here. Because the big three, it's assumed, this isn't proven, but it's assumed that there are like pricing agreements between them. So they're not that
competitive.
Well, and they're all relatively similar. So that's the scuttlebutt that's been going on for decades. There's no proof of it, but that's what everybody thinks. And that's what allegedly goes on up here. Now, the counter argument from Bell and TELUS and the rest of them are, well, it costs so much money to actually maintain this network. Well, here's the other thing. Guess what they were able to do in Toronto? Well, Bell and Rogers lobbied the city of Toronto to enact a law that would prevent any new carrier from installing new infrastructure. So if you have to use any provider, you actually have to go through Bell and Rogers. And now Bell is getting all mad because Bell doesn't like all the resellers that are actually going on. So opening up internet companies and telecom companies and using their network that they lease. So they don't like that either. They want the complete monopoly and push everybody out. So there you go. It's lobbyists and it's the big corporations that try and keep everybody out. Let me know what this sounds like. All in the name of patriotism.
You mean money?
Oh yeah. Elbows up. Elbows up was a thing with the big three long before Mark Carney. What is this? Who is this?
It's SK.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, SK.
SK. I'm just seeing Mark Gerritsen. For $50. Thank you very, very much. Ryan Tanya, this is the best I can do right now, but we'll continue more when I can in the future. To be honest, I just want any station that employs Sharon Cower to get sued up the wazoo. You know how Ronaldo does his sue. I want you to sue. That's fun. I don't know if I did it right, but that's okay.
No, you were supposed to reverse them. That's okay.
-1-2 for $10. Oh no, we absolutely have to protect the dairy cartel in Quebec that dumps 7% of their production to the trash every year, about 250 million liters of milk, instead of lowering prices. Sarcasm.
Right? Like, I don't understand. I guess I don't understand why they do it with milk. I mean, I know money, but why would you price control something that you can't store? Do you know what I mean? Like, at least with the maple syrup, as much as I hate it, they can store it in vats and just leave it forever and it's still fine.
I guess. Megaman 0 for $5 since tariffs are in place. Can we work on economic independence with a conservative plan? Of course. To be honest, exports should be a bonus on top of an economy. Well, this is what the conservatives have been calling for, right? And Mark Carney says, I know, I'm going to get on a plane. Gordon Muir dropping 10 memberships. Thank you very much for that, Gordon. And Rivacities for $2. No one suspects the Spanish Inquisition. Barking up the right tree for $7. It's not taxpayer money, but after that schmuck Marcus decided Quebec needed my money more than I do, it's all I got left. Show CTV what you got. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support.
And Matthew for $20. Keep going. We are with you both. Thank you. And let's see if there's an actual name.
MCC.
Okay. For $50. Thank you very, very much. Thanks for all that you do. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The shift has hit the fan for $10. Nice. If we made a deal with the U.S., politicians would lose their favorite distraction and have to face healthcare, crime, the economy, poverty, and mental health. Maybe that's why they never wanted one. And they would have to face the biggest one of all, which is affordability, which is where all polls say they think conservatives would do a better job.
They would do a better job because they would slash bureaucracy. What is it, like 43% of your salary right now goes to some level of government, whether that's your municipality, your province, your territory, or federal.
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes. And that's more than your shelter, your food, and your clothing combined. That's insane. And speaking of taxes, if you guys want more information on tax stuff, check out the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. We actually saw Franco and we got to meet Noah this past Thursday, I believe, at an event they were hosting here in Hamilton, and it was amazing.
And actually, we should post it on our social media. We actually got them to come down here in the studio and do a little tour for them, and we got a picture of Franco in the chair right next to
with his book. Do you want here? I could probably do it now too. I can send it to you. Okay, we'll post it on social media. I actually got a lot of good photos at that event, and I just have been so busy I haven't had time to post them.
Oh, and we're actually going to be having some members only content coming shortly from Ned Curick and also Jamil Giovanni. So stay tuned. And Murray Perrin, member for 33 months. U.S. don't want China steel, China or China cars, and I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
The Frosty 8 for $5. See, we can agree with Trump. I agree with Trump on that.
Well, because China's been dumping their steel in Canada, have they not? Didn't we discuss that with somebody recently?
So the big problem is that the U.S. has all these tariffs on China. So what China is doing is saying, okay, so we can't get the stuff into the U.S. with these tariffs. So we're going to try and go through Mexico, and we're going to try and go through Canada, and then get into the U.S. through that. So that's what's going on with that. The Frosty 8 for $5. I don't know when it happened. Politics turned into reality TV. Most people don't want to be educated. Sheep noises. Real people are getting hurt now. Yes, they are.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why we try to keep things pretty even keel. A lot of people will say we're boring, but I don't know. I don't like that narrative of like, good versus evil in politics. I don't know.
I would say it's for $5, but Ryan, we have certainty. We are certain that the best thing or that the beat thing will continue until morale improves, and you get projects approved, unmarked briefcases. Yeah. RC Lammer for $5. We need to go back to all thy sons command, not citizens suffering from politician bureaucratic fascism. We're being fed Star Trek on steroids. Well, what I can tell you is that we were at a barbecue yesterday, and there was probably about 1,500 people there.
There was a lot of people.
And I can tell you, when everyone was singing "O Canada," and the person who was leading them, everybody said, "In all thy sons." So,
actually, I've noticed that a few times when we're at conservative stuff. Like even the Pints and Politics we go to, if they open with the national anthem. Yeah.
And it was a female singing it. So, can't blame this on anything but patriotism. Commando Solo for $10. Guys, I love Canada, but elbows up, and the negativity toward Trump was your mistake. Your dairy cartel tariffs, the Kuzma interference or indifference, and now the
T9%, 50% tariffs, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Will destroy your economy.
Yes, must be, because the 5 is next to the T.
You did this.
Tariffs will destroy your economy. You did this. I think it's a combination.
I think you could say that our government did this. Not all of us voted for that government.
Well,
unfortunately, we're stuck with the consequences.
There's been Kuzma violations that have been factually proven, and that goes back to 2021.
Yep, under the Trudeau government.
The digital sales tax last year that they were going to bring in arguably violated Kuzma. Mark Carney putting tariffs on Kuzma protected products last year and finally took them off. So there's a bunch of things that this government has done. But I don't like my country tariffed like this either. So
right, and again, we're all suffering, even though not all of us voted for this government.
But as I come back to, I can't control Donald Trump. I can control my leader, or at least try. We didn't vote for Donald Trump. We have a means of voting not for Mark Carney. So, but thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your opinion, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it. And Lynn Holly, a member for 10 months. What happened to All Night Brainstorm? Right? What happened to getting a deal? And Ian Bridges for $28. One of the biggest mistakes in Canadian history was Brian Mulroney bringing in the GST, the Immigration Act of 1988, and free trade. The challenge with the GST is that you need... So that was an attempt to curb spending and to pay down the debt that was racked up under Liberal government.
Yeah.
So this is the problematic cycle that this country is in, is that the Liberals, they come in and they spend with reckless abandon.
And then the Conservatives
have to come in and be
fix
like,
it. Yeah.
Okay, inflation's out of control and all this stuff, so we have to like curb all this stuff. And then they finally get the economy back on track. And then Canadians are like, Conservatives are boring. And the Liberals are promising all these new toys that I get to play with.
Yeah.
So I'm going to vote for them. And then the Liberals come back in and they spend with reckless abandon. They put the economy in the tank. And then Canadians remember, well, you know, we need a more fiscally responsible government. I'm going to vote for Conservatives now. And it's just like...
Yeah. That's like the history of politics in our country.
Yeah.
At the federal level, at least.
Spiky Mikey 33 for $5. Hi, sorry I'm late. Can you fill me in on what I missed?
How dare you?
I hope Vincent is a lot better. Yes, he is. Thank you very much.
Chances are near zero.
Commando Solo for $5. I hate to say this, but the U.S. can replace Canadian imports from other countries. Yeah, they can. If that happens, can Canada find someone to buy 80% of your exports? This is the issue, right? Now, there's certain things that the U.S. can't replace, or it's going to be more difficult to replace. But on all of these 50% tariffs, they can. And this is the challenge. This is what Canada is dealing with, is that we are a small market compared to the United States. So,
well, they have 10 times the population that we do, right?
Right. So, and this is what Mr. Appleton was saying, and he's an expert on international trade. So... Marilyn Northrop, member for 31 months. Carney is playing a global game. Canada, his pawn. And Rev says for $5. I wish I could agree, Tanya. His pile has been building and fermenting for a lot longer than 10 years. More like since Trudeau Sr., in my opinion, but there you go. And Whiffers SS for $20. The reason it's hard to convince Liberal supporters is because of the halo effect. The human mind evolved for survival, not deep reasoning, hence the mental shortcuts. Avoiding discomfort in part is part of survival.
Yeah, and I also think it's partly due to our education system. I mean, nobody sat me down in school and said, okay, well, you know, if a government runs a deficit, it's a problem because then you, the taxpayer, are going to be paying more. Nobody ever explained stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think we need to really impress upon young people how their choices, their financial choices, and their electoral choices are going to affect them in the wallet, really.
Adriana Johnson for $20. I can't believe Canada prefers going to China than staying with the U.S. People say USMCA is the envy of the world, and sadly Canada ignores it. Now that China is controlling Canada, they're going to go for Mexico next to trap the U.S.
Possible.
Well, they're going to try, and the reason why the reason why some Canadians are of that opinion is because that's what they're told by the mainstream media.
Right, right.
And they're told that by the mainstream media because that's what Mark Carney says. And it's... I'll just use this one.
Oh, come on!
RC Lammer for $2. I'm my own best troll and I can't be bought.
Excellent.
Wouldn't have you any other way. So even when we disagree, happy to have you in the stream, RC Lammer. And D. Lynn EA for $20. How in the heck do the Conservatives, especially Pierre, fight the tsunami of propaganda coming from the Liberals, mainstream media, and everyone else piling on? Are they running against the party or the whole bloody machine? Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the good thing about this time in history is that the Conservative Party has other outlets, not just the mainstream legacy media. You know, we talk to MPs often. We have some staffers that really like us and that'll be like, hey, my MP's in this committee today, you know, you should watch it type thing. Sometimes we can get around to it, sometimes we can't, but you have people kind of pointing you in a certain direction, and you're able to see whether there's something there or not, right? Whereas there's so much stuff in committee that I don't know if we would be able to cover absolutely all of it, just the two of us. So it is helpful when we have a staffer being like, hey, they're going to be talking about such and such and such and such committee today.
Rev saves for $5. They just changed the driver's licenses in Alberta. They will now show your healthcare number like BC and your citizenship for voting, or so they say.
Okay. Thank you.
That makes
so
more sense.
That would explain it then, yeah.
That makes more sense. And Commando Solo for $5. Didn't Carney lie to Canadians about the Gordie Howe Bridge? Yes, he did. Trust in short supply when your track record is lying. He should sell his U.S. interests. Yeah, he absolutely should. And I hope, I wonder if the Conservatives are like waiting to present this motion or bill at the right time to ask Mark Carney to sell his U.S. interest. I imagine and to change the Conflict of Interest Act in Canada. I'm thinking that they're saving that for a very strategic moment. But yes, he did lie to Canadians about the Gordie Howe Bridge, blamed it on a cowboy hat, and blamed it on a Sunday. And
you wear cowboy hats on Sunday. You don't do anything stupid.
That's debatable. But he also lied to Canadians about his assets during the election.
Yes.
It was a flat out lie.
Yeah, 100%.
And mainstream media was like, oh, squirrel. So, and Woofers SS for $50. Thank you very, very much. Can only speak for myself, but what I've always liked and respected about you guys is even though your views are conservative, your tone is moderate. Go get them.
Thank you very much. We do get riled up sometimes, but we try to preserve it for the really crazy situations.
Yeah, we
try to be a little bit more, even keel.
Yeah. You sure about that? Right.
Just like a fan, Luke for $7. Whoever AKA bot in chat is saying Carney is better than Harper because he's fast tracking pipelines. Then tell me why this one won't be done until 2034. Oh, is that someone saying that? Wow.
That's amusing.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
And Mayday member for 31 months. So glad to hear Vincent is okay. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Thank you. Peter Witten for $2. Municipal election soon. For Pete's sake, vote. Yes, thank you actually for reminding me about this. We were actually speaking to somebody in the barbecue yesterday, and it is so important. Federal government is not the only place where we need people that are right of center folks. So please do not forget to vote in the municipal election, but research your candidates as well. Make sure you know exactly who you're voting for. And if you have questions, challenge them, ask them, make them earn your vote. Don't just accept what they're saying. Test them. Ask what they're going to do when it comes to the municipal policies. So please get out there and vote. We need a change of the guard in many municipalities in this country.
Yeah, especially Hamilton. Only about a third of eligible voters actually voted in the last municipal election.
So remember, you vote for your school trustees as well, folks.
In Ontario, yeah.
Yeah. So
for now.
So get out there and vote for your school trustees. They help deal and stand up for your kids in the school system. Yeah. We have Gordon Meir, member for 28 months. How is Vincent doing after his fall? He's doing well.
Yes, he's right back to normal, which is amazing. The first 24 hours were pretty bad. He had a concussion, a pretty bad one, and he was vomiting a lot, but no skull fracture, no other fractures anywhere, no internal issues. That child was so lucky. I can't even explain how lucky he was, but he's right back to normal.
Libby Tima for 27 months. CTV is going after you because you're a threat. We're nice people. We try to be nice.
We just do what they want to do, but better.
I guess. Robbie's, give me the resources they have. You'll see what we can do.
We wouldn't even need all of them, though. That's the thing.
Give me half of them.
Yeah.
Rev says for $10, from what I understand regarding steel, the CCP is not just dumping steel in Canada, Mexico, AL, but grading of the steel is not consistent and can cause structural issues in projects where it's used. Correct. That's the big problem with Chinese steel that's actually coming. You are 100% correct from what we've heard. And Dawes for $5, if a federal election is held before Trump's midterms, what are Pierre's chances of winning? And if he didn't, would he stay for a third time? So,
that's a lot of hypotheticals.
Good question. So I highly doubt that a election is going to be held before Trump's midterms. So that's number one. If they were,
I don't think the Liberals would do that well because they'd be holding a needless election, right?
They would be holding a wasteful, needless election in the middle of a crisis that Carney was already there managing. So why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So that would be the narrative that the opposition would gain control of. There's no good reason for them to actually do an election.
No, because they have a majority, so they can't even be like, oh, the opposition is blocking us.
That's where I would say
that excuse is gone.
That's where I would say, you want to do that, go for it. See what happens.
Yeah.
And then if he didn't win that election, would he stay? No. He would resign and move on. That's my prediction of that. So I don't think Pierre would continue on. But we don't have to worry about that this fall because I highly doubt it's happening.
I would be shocked if an election was called.
Yep.
Yeah. Shocked.
Possible, but I say it's
very
unlikely.
improbable. Yeah.
Norman for $20. Shout out to Northern Perspective from Coquitlam, BC. Thanks for doing what you do. Well, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Fickle Knot for $7. No need to worry about Trump taking our land. David TV is already giving it away.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. You have to laugh, otherwise you'll cry. And Bueno Kitty, meant for 12 months. Feelings over facts in Canada. It's why TDS works. -1-2 for $10. A good argument for the younger generation is to talk about how much money was spent for Ukraine, $25 billion plus, versus how that money could have helped their lives here in Canada. Instead, it's very telling.
Absolutely.
That money could have been used to be the $25 billion that's bailing out all these businesses because of the 50% tariffs. Think of that. And boy, for $140.
Thank you very much.
That $500 shows how much Canadians believe in you two. All the best with CTV. Keep up the good work. Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Dawes for $5. If this keeps up, Canada is going to have a grim December. Yes.
Yeah, it was when we were talking with our assistant Marion yesterday, or possibly the day before, and she said, it's going to be a really tough Christmas this year for a lot of people. She said last year was tough, but it's going to be even worse this year, and I fear that she's right.
Yeah. And this is Mike A. Shill.
Ashchi, maybe?
Anyway.
Sorry.
For $50. Thank you very, very much, Mike. Hey, Canada, ready for 51st date? No, not yet. Okay, we'll check back in 6 months. I love you Americans, but I love being Canadian. So I'm happy to be neighbors. Just
exactly.
With a border. So, and RC Lammer for $2. If Jesus isn't God of Canada, we don't exist anymore. So, okay, folks, it is 11:34. Thank you. I cannot thank you folks enough.
Thank you very much for your support.
We did not expect this tonight. Thank you. And if it comes down to it, we will be taking a stand. And as I said, I'm not new to taking a stand against a bigger opponent. Call me stubborn, but
you are stubborn. Stubborn as a mule.
Well, but this is really important because
it is important because hopefully they stop. Hopefully they stop bothering us and bothering everybody else. Because again, like we are convinced that the clip we used and the way we attributed it was correct within the law. So I don't know why they're coming after us.
Well, and so we're just going to say, all right, you want to come after us? Then come after us. See how that works out for you in the court of public opinion, because I guarantee you it's not going to go the way you think.
And it probably won't go the way they think in real court either.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens when it gets to their high-priced lawyers and they're saying, guys, really? No, let's not do this. Please, let's not do this. because there's no way we're going to win this, especially not for a couple of bucks. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And from what we've learned, courts don't like people that waste money. So we'll see how this works out for them. But thank you, Portuguese Pie. I saw your email if you're still in chat. So we got that. And I'll be including that in my update tomorrow. And as I said, as we keep putting out these social media updates of the status of the CTV situation, best thing you can do, folks, is to just like it, share it, comment on it, and prop up the engagement. And let's keep this trending all week.
And also, please, again, double check that you have notifications for Northern Perspective turned on, because if we get a copyright strike, you may not see our videos. You will get a notification, though.
Right.
So make sure it's turned on.
So I'll read this one, which is Jenny P with a $14 super doge with a thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great super sticker to finish up on. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And just keep an eye on our social media. Keep an eye on YouTube. We'll be posting all week as per usual. And we'll see you in the comments.
Have a good night.
Our fathers fought so our voices could be free, that thought and conscience would not bow to decree those rights and only if we choose to take a stand without compromising truth. This land is more than headlines, more than noise and rage. We cut through all the chaos line by line, page by page. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every province, every distant sky, we stand for something. We don't step aside. Truth in our hands, hope in our eyes. NP Nation, this is where we rise. No corner of this country stands alone. What we ignore still shapes the road back home. Power grows when people step aside. We move forward, NP nationwide. From the coastline to the prairies, mountain shadow, harbor rain, we carry all these stories, turn the fear into a flame. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every province, every distant sky, we stand for something. We don't step aside. Truth in our hands, hope in our eyes. NP Nation, this is where we rise. We've been bruised, but we're breathing. Yeah, the work cuts deep. Still we answer every morning for the true north, strong and free. Canada, you're worth the struggle. Every question, every call. We're exhausted, but we're upright. We refuse to watch you fall. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every province, every distant sky, we stand for something. We don't step aside. Truth in our hands, hope in our eyes. NP Nation, this is where we rise. Freedom thrives when truth is on our side. When we resist despair and the power that divides, so we step forward. No more